Let me hear your announcement when you show up on the mic. And
that's right. I go, attention, Saquon Casino. Who's ready for those hot seats where you get the jackpot? Home of the jackpot.
That is so dope. I want you to do my intro for my podcast.
Oh, man, I got...
If you want lime, they're right there in case you want
sick.
some.
Man, you got the works.
Oh, bro. I do my best to try to hook you guys up, you know?
Best host right here. Best host.
Trying.
Golly.
Trying. Maybe I keep people coming, you know?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, you know what? Just come over for a good time. That's it.
It's fun, man.
You know, this podcast is just to hang out.
Exactly.
Have a good time.
Have some Coke Zero. That's right. Sponsored by Coke Zero.
Extra.
That's right. You're saying you like Coke Zero, right? That's like your go-to.
Yeah, imagine they could be like, hey, Coke Zero.
Yeah, no,
hey.
Sponsor us right here. Come
What's up? Speaking of sponsors, I was talking to a buddy of mine who was starting his app developing in like a it's called Prospect. I don't want to go too much into it because the release hasn't happened yet, and I know he's anticipating the
launch.
Mm-hmm. So I'm leaving that up to him.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Or I did forget measure. Who measures your shot?
He said, "Forget about the measure."
Who needs that? Come on, you know your abuelita makes those beans and they just throw everything in there. Who measures that? You know, if you had a measuring cup, you'd look like a dork.
That's
you know?
Right. It's like, abuelita, how'd you make this? What are the ingredients? She's like, I don't know. I just do stuff. That's what it is.
Like ron. Like the motorcycle, you know, you just kind of get it revved and started. Ron.
Exactly.
When you do 3 rons, that means you counted long enough for your pour, which means the motorcycle is ready to go.
Listen, professional bartender right here.
Watch out. Hey, Saquon.
That's right.
Hey, you got DJ Danny. You got bartender. Oh, snaps. I'm not even drunk. And
don't write on my Wednesdays.
She's like, Saquon's like, we're going to have the first bartender podcast, live serving drinks.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Wait, 1 second.
He goes, room. How many rooms do you want?
Room.
Oh, that's good.
It's good?
Yeah, that's what so this is my drink right here when quarantine happened. That's what I used to pour. I'm like, let me get rum, Coke, easiest thing to pour.
You doing one of those TikToks where you were your own bartender
Yeah,
since you had a quarantine, so you're like, I want 2 shots, and you're looking at yourself, you're like, you want 2 shots? Really? You want 2 shots? We're gonna have to do 2 separate bills.
Yeah, 2 separate.
You're like, really, Karen?
2 cards? Come on, man.
No?
Exactly.
You're like, whatever. I'm going to Verona.
Yeah. Oh.
He's like, I'm not affiliated with this. Oh goodness!
Oh my God! Funny story. So Saquon is my home, my place. That's my family. But when I first started at Saquon, I was in a commercial with my ex-girlfriend at the time, or my girlfriend at the time, and it was for what's the other one?
Verona Saquon, the one in Rincon.
What's that one?
There's a Pala. There's a Harris.
Viejas. Viejas Casino. And they were
the Alpine one.
4th of July party. I went for my cousin. She was singing over there. And I was just having a good time dancing salsa. I'm like, boom, doing the spin. And when I lifted her up for the dip.
Oh.
When I lifted
you. I was anticipating. I was like, who?
You're like, who? Actually did. When I lifted her for the dip.
Sound effect.
I like that. See, look, that people. We don't need no like. When I lifted her for the dip, I'm like, oh, it's so much fun over here. Yeah, it's perfect for a commercial, like perfect soundbite. And they took that and they're recording. And they put it in the commercial's still out there somewhere, but it was in their highlight 4th of July party commercial. And I'm like, and Saquon saw that. I'm like, oh, I'm like, I did not need to say. I was just there, for my cousin, but I felt so bad. I'm like, it's not me. That's not me.
I know, no.
It just was perfect timing, but it's just so funny, man. But Saquon, my home.
Saquon.
My home, baby.
Hashtag Saquon.
Hashtag Saquon.
Hashtag this drink is good on a hot summer day.
Hot summer day. So good. It is delicious. Cheers.
It actually is. Cheers.
Yeah. Delicious.
Yeah, it is, dude. It's been warm. I could feel the heat cooling off, but I felt it in my neck earlier. I was like making sure I was getting stuff together and everything, and then I was like, dude, I need to sit down. I want to have a cold beverage.
Yeah. Exactly. No, it's perfect, man.
Kick it and relax.
Kick it and relax. Kick it and relax right here on this podcast. Come on.
Yeah, it was cold. And you guys missed it. We had a very Cheeto crunchy conversation. We were gonna ASMR, but we were like, you think there's like, how would you say, experienced ASMR listeners who would know if you bit into a crunchy hot Cheeto, cheese Cheeto, or a hot Cheeto?
It's the test right there.
And it was like, you know what, dude, that person would deserve a prize if they're like, and they got like 10 out of 10 right. You know, we'd have to do different chips for sure. And they're like, was that a hot Frito? And you're like, dude, you're good.
You're great.
No, but you gotta go like this. You gotta go.
You're good. So good. Thank you for tuning in. Have you seen that?
So loud. You crunch in their ear. They're like, oh my gosh, that was beautiful.
They're making a living on ASMR. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is crazy.
That's probably crazier. But I was gonna tell you because I let my buddy's dad know. I was like, yeah, you know that game, Cornhole?
Oh yeah,
right?
it's a good game.
So yeah, it is a good game.
Should have come up with a better name.
Yeah. I think a Beavis and Butthead or
exactly.
we won't go to the other things.
No,
So
PG. No.
so the cornhole is like a professional sport. Like people make money off of it. You know, I didn't know that, and I ended up getting I've been educated on it a little more than most because my nephew got a sponsor. Round of applause.
Hey, round of applause. I like that.
And I was like, "What the heck? You can get sponsors for cornhole?" I wasn't into it at all. I didn't know. I barely threw a beanbag at the thing. Maybe like 40 times, and that's my whole life type of thing. And then I'm over here like, "You're gonna sponsor?" Like, "Oh yeah." And then they're like, some other people, they're like pro, like completely pro, and I'm like, "Dude, that's nuts."
Bro, it's another world.
And like, I'm not like shaming anybody in any way, but it's like you can be drinking a beer, but if they can throw that thing just fine, like, dude, they can drink beer all day, and they're like, I'm a cornhole athlete.
Well, those are things, man. Those sports that you really don't have to be in the best shape. I mean, you can be drinking on the job. It's crazy because you can't do that. Like you play soccer, right?
Yeah.
Soccer.
Yeah, no.
Soccer, basketball, football.
No, even today, like a day before, I have it. Well, today's Friday, right? But like if I drink Saturday, I would for sure feel the effects on Sunday, and I'm let alone doing it the same day.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts.
There's no way.
I did try it once, but
did it
I
work?
was like,
how'd it work out for you?
I felt extremely out of shape. I felt like 5 years out of shape or something. I was like, dude, did I stop playing for how long? And I was like,
I'm done.
like I had less lung capacity. I was like getting cramps. I had a cramp so bad it was one on the quad and one on the hammy. So I had to make a sacrifice, and I had to either pick who's gonna suffer, my quad or my hammy, because you stretch one or the other, And if you go mid, you're killing both.
Done.
So you're really like
Done.
You're not committed. You got to commit, So I committed, and I was like, I'm saving the hammy, and then I stretched the hammy, but the quad just it was like a knot. And I was like, man, where's the closest abuelita sobadora that can really take this out? Because they get the skin oil that's been soaking in the water, and then it stinks. But you put it on, and you're like, Mom, why would you do that? You're like, thanks, Mom. And then she's like, a ves, mijo, and you still get a chancla to the head,
Exactly.
You're like, para que aprendas, so you learn. You learn.
Hey, that's right.
With that George Lopez, so you learn.
I used to do that all the time. I used to get her and my abuelita, same thing. She put limon. She put bread for some reason. Like she marinated bread in something, and some juices. And we used to get hurt on purpose. We used to get cut, and then she put limon. We're like, oh, I'm sorry, abuelita. And she put it on. We just eat that stuff. It's like tamarindo. It's like tajin. Like, this is delicious. Don't do that.
Wait, right now when we said, was that an alarm? Oh no! Sorry.
That's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Perfect.
Later. Did you? When I told you, I was like, "Hey, yeah, how do you do your announcement when you're going to present yourself?" Did you present yourself, or did you just announce a Saquon thing? Because I don't think I've properly introduced everybody to you. I mean, they're going to see it on the title.
What a host!
Sorry. I was worried about your taste buds and your other senses, except for the auditory senses.
He set up everything, drinks, food, everything, but he just forgot to introduce me. I just know he's the man, the best hostess with the mostest. But
I think I have to fix that. Never mind. Sorry, I saw something. I was like, I have to fix that later.
No.
The way this is going, I'm about to edit. I'm gonna be talking to myself in the video, so I can still crop it.
Clone yourself.
I'll put like a Snapchat filter. I'll just cover the whole face and turn your voice into like Darth Vader or something. And you're like, yeah, I'm DJ Danny.
That sounded good. Dang, I'm out for my job. Oh man. I'm so DJ Danny with 35 Productions Entertainment. Yeah, so we try to get in there. We try to get any type of event, man, any type of style. We try to get everything you need for, to cater to whatever event, pretty much.
So is it we consisting of a team?
Yeah. So I
team?
mean, when the team, like, I don't have I have DJ friends that are I known through the scene, and I always like give them, they have their own company.
Yeah.
But for me, the entertainment is like me. So singers, vocalists, dancers, guitarists.
You have that with your crew? Oh, okay.
the
They're
crew,
they're like affiliated, and you kind of like a subcontract kind of thing. You're like, okay, I got something going on. All right, I need you. We
Yes.
go. Let's take it on.
Exactly. So if I get my clientele, because I told them, like, hey, listen, if I get gigs, let me just subcontract you. You'll be under 35, so I can get the legalities and all that, the insurance, all that stuff. You'll be under me, and then then you got an extra gig. You got some stuff. So yeah, I got my guitarist, incredible flamenco guitarist, electric guitarist, vocalist. Happens to be my cousin, who she's incredible as well.
Nice.
And professional dancers, man. Do your first dances, all that stuff.
You should probably, if they want or you want, because obviously it's for you, maybe like throw their names out, or shout them out, and then throw their follow. Some people are probably looking for something, They'll run into this.
This person, no name. No, so vocalist Tanya McKenna, amazing vocalist.
What is it?
Tanya McKenna.
Tanya McKenna.
Tanya McKenna, amazing vocalist.
Sounds like a name that's just meant to be in a household, like a household name,
Right, Tanya McKenna.
Yeah.
So she did American Idol, like she did all the works. Like,
oh, she did?
Yeah, American Idol.
Is that where I heard her?
You probably saw her. She was
Maybe.
with J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez on that when she was on there.
Oh, snaps.
And Serena Cuevas, of course, amazing Dancing with the Stars. Like, she's crazy. Gatorade commercial. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Flamenco guitarist, David Alva, like
Tanya McKenna. It just sounds, I don't know, like Tanya McKenna, #1 Billboard.
Rolls up
like, dude.
Her real last name is Tanya Howe, but she goes by her middle Tanya McKenna.
Good choice.
Yeah, what is Tanya McKenna? Tanya Howe?
It kind of rolls off of the tongue, McKenna.
McKenna.
Tanya McKenna.
Yeah,
just kind of like
Tanya McKenna.
Tanya. What was the other last name?
How?
Tanya How? You stop. You're mid flutter. McKenna.
Tanya,
just kind of go.
Yeah, McKenna. Just
like it's
flows.
like we're just like Tanya McKenna. And then I pass it out to you.
Yeah, McKenna. Do Tanya Howe.
Tanya McKenna. Wait, which way? Elizabeth. There you go, Tanya McKenna. We got you on there.
We got you.
If you wanted a soundbite, there you go. You wanted that little IG clip.
Yeah.
There you go. It's on.
Clip that.
I'll put that. I'm gonna put that on there.
Yeah. Tag it.
We'll just find it. Everyone's gonna find this one interesting.
Exactly.
What type of crunchy hot Cheeto you're eating, or cheesy hot Cheeto to Tanya McKenna.
Tanya McKenna. That's right. We're all over the place. That's what we do. People like
who do we have for? You said guitarist.
Guitarist David Alva.
David Alva.
Incredible guitarist. Who he's like. Open up for like the Gypsy Kings, like that type of style, which is great. Like, so
is that like a older Spanish rock or something?
Yeah,
like that?
Gypsy Kings like what's it called?
I don't really listen to him, but I think I've ran into somebody who's into it.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good vibe, but that's like a different style, like very relaxed and I mean he can do it all.
Like an older rock kind of feel.
Older, do you know that dun 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 dun? It's like the I forgot what it is.
Oh, okay.
So that's
what you should have just brought your equipment and just be like, hey,
what up, dude?
Get your request.
We're live.
Put them on a ticket number. We'll get them on one of those meat butcher number things. Like you guys are Tanya McKenna, you're number 2. Like, oh, she's following us. All right, good. And then
David Alva, number 2. Number 3. Serena Cuevas, number 1.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Dude, your voice sounds dope. It sounds even better over here. I feel like I get like the VIP sitting.
If you want, man, and you know what? Like the voice, this came in like I started using the voice and energy and all that stuff like later in the game. But before, man, it was just you're just behind the turntable trying to mix, trying to DJ, and you just got to find your niche. And fortunately, I met a lot of people who kind of encouraged like, hey, use whatever skill, or like pointed that out, like, hey, you should use your voice.
Was that your buddy, the guy who does the aviators?
Joe Cipriano. That's another legend.
Yeah, his voice is good too.
He's the golden. So he's like my idol. He's like an amazing person, very humble. And you probably heard his voice. Like he does like the
yeah. So, no, well, you told me about him, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. And then I was supposed to make my way out to the thing, and then
he didn't show up.
And then I for the to be, we're on the podcast, right? We're gonna say it. We're gonna say it,
Yeah.
and we're having a good time. But I'm not gonna lie, I was like, "What the heck?" I was on my way there, this and that, and I was like a little frustrated
Yeah.
because I was like, I really wanted to make it happen, and I was frustrated in a good way, in
You
as
were
as
close.
better or positive way that it could have been.
Uh-huh.
Is like, it was like, oh man, I really wanted to link up. I really wanted to
Yes.
like meet up because I felt like a good vibe,
Yeah, I mean that's
So then when you were like, oh yeah, no, this and that, like maybe next time, and then I was like, oh yeah, sure, smiley face, and
Yeah.
then I was like, my real face was like,
It's like,
smiley face.
F
I was
this
like,
guy, I hate this guy. I
parked
hate
on
him.
the side of the freeway, CHP stuff. Are you okay? Or like, don't talk to me, like and then just this is an important message. But no, I was just kind of I was just looking forward to it, and I was like, oh, this is cool, like it just like I said, I also just like how you were telling me earlier,
Yeah.
you threw yourself into situations when you were like a beginner,
For sure.
and that's how you met, and then I was like, I really want to throw myself into situations that I've never been in, so like
great.
something like that and linking up, was something I was looking forward to, and it probably could have been because it followed maybe a not so great day, maybe I don't know. It's one of those days where just kind of
What
doesn't.
happened? I forgot. Remind me what did I do? Did I say?
Oh, you're like, Mircko, we don't want you no mo. And I was like, are you serious, Danny?
I'm
And
here.
then I was like, I could see you from there. You're like, I'm busy. And I'm like, I see you. And I'm like, from here, I can see you playing Bejeweled. Is that Candy Crush? Because I see those little colors dropping.
DJing. You're
I
playing.
just saw you get frustrated because you lost the high score or something. Or you just got a commercial. You probably clicked an ad, didn't you? That frustrated, I clicked an ad. They're like, I'm watching the YouTube video and it's about to get to the plot, and then you hit the ad and you're like, dude, seriously,
Like,
I'm
F
trying to learn
this.
how to make this chicken
Yes.
capiconi, whatever the hell it's called,
Yes.
and you're like, she
Yes.
just got to the final recipe, or you're like, it was the final highlight of the fight, of the UFC fight, and the
Uh-huh.
knockout was coming, and you're like,
You're like,
hi, do you want to get a better smile? Go ahead and click this ad, and then you're like, dude, and then you regret not buying YouTube Red or whatever
yeah,
it is
that's
called,
what it is. Yeah.
which now I'm considering because I got frustrated again.
For sure.
Oh, I heard that motorcycle olive in you.
Yeah, where were we?
No,
right.
yeah, but
That's right.
something happened, and then it just turned out into us not going. I mean, I guess I could probably look back in the messages, and I'll be like,
Don't look back.
oh yeah, like all those angry emojis you sent me or something.
Yeah. That's right. No, I mean
Yeah.
that. But that's
I was supposed to go to the Aviators spot, which was out there in Carlsbad area,
that's
right?
right. La Costa.
La Costa, which
Yeah, yeah.
literally it must be literally around the house from your around
Yes.
the house from your corner.
Yeah, it's right. Now it's
It's,
around.
it's around the house from your corner.
around the house from the corner. It makes exact sense.
Yeah, it sounds like just
Yeah.
as bad as I was working with the guy, and he's like, "Oh man, I got legs in my pant holes," and I was like, "What?"
Like I'm taking that.
He
I'm using that line.
He got dirt in his pant legs, but he was like, "I got legs in my pant holes." I was like, "I think that's how it's supposed to be."
Yeah, but keep putting on a T-shirt, dude. That's perfect.
Do you got legs in your pant holes?
Yeah.
You failure.
Yeah, you feel get the T-shirt. That's right. That's right. So you were supposed to, we were supposed to link up, which is the best way to meet people, honestly. That's why I like. I like the hustle. I like the game. Like just meet people, connect, because you never know what it is. It could be like a cool hangout. It could be like a future adventure, like future gig. But I remember that, man.
It wasn't really that. It's like today.
Uh-huh.
So that, like, in all honesty, the benefit that I'm getting from this is I really enjoy. I love to talk. Hence,
Yeah,
my
good
podcast name is called Mircko Talks. So I love to talk.
That's right.
I love to convey any thoughts, feelings, anything, and shoot them to somebody. See their reactions. Have a good time. Have a drink, whatever. Have some snacks. All that. And then it's a back and forth. Like a relay match. In a sense, at a like a tennis, thing where it's just kind of going back and
Back and
forth.
forth, back and forth.
Aviators.
Yeah.
What? So San Diego Aviators is like a professional team out here.
Professional
correct?
team, professional players.
Professional tennis team. But
Similar,
anyways,
sir.
hence the tennis pun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like really like my. That's what I enjoy about this. So like I shoot videos and I do those for money or whatever, and I that's how I make money and stuff. And then I do like photo shoots or whatever. But
Yeah.
when I do this, I mostly look forward to like the conversation itself, because
sure.
if not, it would be not saying like malintended, but it would be more. I don't even know if that's a word, but mal is a word and intended is a word. So I put them together and
Look up the dictionary.
compound word there.
It was good.
So,
it was good. I was like, this guy's a genius. It was a good word. I like that.
Okay, Google, tell me another one. Dang it, my post-it. No, stop. My phone's
Somebody give
activated.
me a
Okay, Google.
Somebody give me a word so I can say I was smart.
How many vowels?
Yeah.
So like it's just I really enjoy the whole part of it, which is
Yeah,
like
it's good, man.
why I've been aiming to really stack up my lineup and meet all kinds of people. Like the
Yeah.
last guy that I met, I've been texting him for like as long as I've been texting him, almost like 2 years or
Yeah.
so, and I've been like going back and forth with
Uh-huh.
him, and I was like, yeah, this and that, love your stuff, this and that, we talk, we vibe, and then all of a sudden he was here,
Yeah.
and
I heard
like,
that podcast. It was amazing. I was like, that's crazy.
oh
Cause
yeah.
you guys had just met. You're like, dude, this in the flesh.
Yeah, yeah, it
In the
was
flesh.
kind of crazy too. Is like his lady came, she was
Uh-huh.
hanging out, and so she was like sitting over here. So everyone, so he'd kind of glance, like, yeah, right,
Yeah.
babe, and then we're just kind of going. So it was a good vibe. And then
Yeah.
like, I didn't even, bro. The only thing I typically drink is like unless somebody else has something, and then I'm like, yeah, I'll vibe with you, and I'll try some of that,
Yeah.
or or I just like I drink like a roll like a light beer,
Yeah. Yeah.
or whatever. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, I like Patron," and I'm like, "Oh cool, man, I got you." And so I'm like, "Cool." So I was like, "What am I gonna make?" He didn't tell me, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna try some squirt and some lime."
Oh yeah. That
And
sounds good.
so the lime like really hit it, hit the tequila,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, like by the end of the podcast, there was like no bottle left, and I was like, "What happened?" I was
No
like,
way.
"We were just going, we're it was just such a good time,
Yeah.
and
Time
it was just
flies.
here. It was
Uh-huh.
like just." Sitting in the same spot. There was no music. There was no other distractions.
Yeah.
The only thing to interpret was my voice to his and his to mine.
Exactly.
And then it was just like boom, boom, boom.
Back
And
and
then
forth.
I liked it because it was very not as distracting as you would think it would be because um we you have the headphones and you
Yeah.
can hear everything, and it's like I said it, even though I said it in a sense kind of jokingly, but it's
Uh-huh.
true. It's like intimate. It's more intricate. It's
Mhm.
more of a detailed interpretation of
Yeah.
because you're hitting your senses, and it's very um, like the headphones are
Yeah.
making it
No.
are doing it justice, and the microphone is doing it good. You can really hear it. Like it's when we joke about ASMR, it's because the mics make it sound that great,
Oh yeah.
and like I know like you don't always need equipment to get your stuff started, but if you can afford it, by all means get it and make it happen because those things do add that little flair
For sure.
to that quality, and like
Well,
I enjoy it. Like at the end of the day, that's the whole part of that. The whole end of the story, the moral of the story was that I got frustrated that time because like this is what I like to do. I like
Yeah.
to meet people. Um I like to collaborate, or
Mhm.
not even just collaborate, just even correlate with people that have that passion, that have that
Yeah.
fire, or like they're just hungry to do their own thing. Like
Yes. Yes.
like
So
you do
important.
that primarily, pretty
I,
much what you like
yeah.
DJ stuff and everything.
DJing primarily. Yeah.
That's like awesome. Like
Yeah.
that's like my thing. Like I'm not there. Like I'm like I'm not fronting to anybody. Like I'm in an apprenticeship for the union. I do electrical
Mhm.
work,
Yeah. It's dope.
and like I'm graduating in like 2 weeks. I'm done, but the ceremony got pushed from June to like September or
Uh-huh.
whatever. Anyways, the ceremony doesn't really matter to me. It's just like the fact that I'm completed. I get my little cert or whatever,
Yeah.
and I'm good. But that's like the plan B, because
Yeah.
I got the little fam.
For
I
sure.
got the family, got my little boy, so that's really important. And the biggest thing is pushing the media stuff, and I'm using the podcast to network for both people.
Hell yeah.
Excuse me, so that when like let's say, hey, you know what I did, you're gonna be like this. Oh, I did a thing, and you're like you post on your Instagram, and they're like, what did this guy do? Like I
Yeah.
was on a podcast, and be like, oh snap, check it out. But it's more to check you out, but at the same time, it's like I'm brought along with you.
Yeah.
But it's like it's not like hey, tell them Mircko,
Yeah.
tell them Mircko sent you. Like you
Hashtag.
do it. I want people to say, hey, what the heck is that? Like an underwear sticker over there? What the? I find stickers all over the place with this kid, dude. It
Oh,
really
it
is.
is. It is. I was like, wait, make that. Oh, it is.
So sorry, I got I'm like squirrel,
Yeah,
all
squirrel.
distracted.
Oh my god! But it's true. It's true. You want to be able to. I mean, you want people to be on this podcast and enjoy the moment, like enjoy what they're doing, and that's why I like when you said it's very intimate because it is. Like typically, when people are distracted on their phones, which is fine because technology is great if you use it wisely, but it's just it's more intimate. You can have a conversation. You can enjoy. It's like I'm listening to your voice in my ears, so it sounds like we're having a real conversation, talking about real stuff, and just connecting, which is the best form of communication. I think is just right here and talking side
Yeah,
by side.
it's the best. Yeah, it's the best, dude. Because it's like I don't want to sound like older, but like I feel like I'm one of the last. My generation is like one of the last ones to appreciate a lot of like the old school things. Like, trust me, I don't like a lot of the old school stuff because some of the stuff I'm like, hey, that's a little outdated, or that's a little too traditional, or
Yeah.
that's a little too prideful, you know. But I also do enjoy, like, you know, when people have the hard work, or when people, you know, actually step outside to do something rather than, you know, just always being on their phones and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, I'm on my phone a lot.
Oh, me
but
too.
I
Yeah.
also try to make it a point to do something outside, or
Yeah.
take in nature, just taking, uh, apply my senses more
Yeah.
than just my eyes and my fingers.
Yeah.
You know,
Let me ask you
like
this.
actually breathe it in.
When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do?
I check my phone because I gotta
Yeah.
snooze it.
Oh,
But
okay.
usually
Because I do the same thing. I look at my phone.
I'll check my phone, or I'm grabbing my coffee. But I did. I would tell you a dumb thing I did today.
What'd you do? Tell me, I wanna
Not
hear.
today. 2 days ago. I
Exclusive
I
right
set
here.
it all up. I set up my coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I put the timer on. I got my clothes all ready. Everything was good to go.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, all right, tomorrow's gonna be a nice, smooth day. I'm gonna start the morning nice. All my clothes are picked out. You know, my boots, my
Yeah.
everything. My coffee's ready to
Prepped.
go. I washed my thermos, everything like that. My lunch is all set. It's already in a bag in the fridge. Good. I go, I'm about to pour my coffee, and I waited till the last minute. I was like, all right, cool. I got like, I'm gonna leave in 5 minutes so I can make my coffee real quick. Boom. I got my coffee, and I don't like instant coffee. I do like, I mean, I don't grind my beans and everything, but I did get a little French roast thing that I'll be doing soon.
Oh man.
But
sounds
anyways,
delicious.
I just put the coffee grounds in. At least I thought I did, and that's how I would have set it up, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I thought I set everything up. I go in the morning, and all I find is a coffee mug, or the thing, whatever, with the water.
Yeah.
Just hot water. I didn't put any coffee in the filter, and I'm like, dude, I don't have time to be waiting again for a whole coffee thing.
You're
So I
proud.
left,
You're so
and my
proud.
little like thermos was all nice and washed right next to there, and I was
Oh,
like,
no.
I swear I left with a whiff of like coffee like in my nose, like I'm like I
Oh,
could
man.
smell it.
Now, did that throw you off? Did that throw off the rest of the day, or were you pretty good? 'Cause
No,
sometimes
but
that
it
can
was just
mess-
like a
yeah.
dumb, like it was, to be honest, it was a frustrating hour.
Yeah.
Like an hour where I was like, gosh, dang it.
It-
And sometimes I do the whole, like, I don't purposely fat. Like, if I want to eat breakfast, like, you know, make something. If not, sometimes I'm like, you know, I'm just going to have coffee kind of fast, and then I have a little snack, and then I have lunch, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm okay. Because sometimes I have kind of like a late lunch or a
Yeah.
late dinner at night, so then I try not to go too crazy in the morning, and
Yeah.
I'm not like that hungry in the morning. You know, I had kind of a late dinner.
Oh, so I got a question. So
Yeah.
you said you're in. I mean, obviously, I seen your Instagram. You're into media and all that stuff. But I want to know, like, were you always into media? Like, did you? How did you get
I
started?
had no creative bone in my body
Oh, how,
until like 4 years ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, my dad used to like sing. He used to model. That's probably as creative as he got. He was a professional soccer player. He would like race cars. He was like he did all this stuff, dude, all this stuff. And then you know, he really wasn't doing all that much stuff when I was like
Yeah.
born, and I was like, dude, like, where is all this stuff? You know, my mom saw it and everything.
Yeah.
He was like on billboards and stuff in like Peru
What?
and
Are you
stuff like
serious?
that. Yeah.
And you knew
So,
that as a child, like growing up, like.
well,
or-
I knew that, but I was born when he was 46, so he was well past all that stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
he wasn't a soccer player anymore. He wasn't a model anymore. He wasn't a pharmaceutical rep for like
Yeah.
Merck or Sharp was the other one or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. He used to race cars for like rich guys or something like that. His dad was rich.
Oh my gosh.
His dad had a mine, a gold mine, and his dad was a jerk, dude. His
Wait.
dad was like, I'm gonna mine all the crap out of that. You know, I'm gonna get all that
Yeah.
gold, and you're not gonna get anything. And the only thing he
Messed
left
up.
them was
messed up.
something that the mom, the grandmother, right? My grandmother
Yeah.
or his mom, my dad's mom, right? She was like, she's like, we're gonna put the house in our name, in my name. So that's when he got rid of everything. He wasn't able to ever have his hands on that or put in a
Oh,
will
man.
like, don't give that house away. He
Yeah.
was like, I'll give all this money away, or I'll spend it all before you get your hands on it. Like, that's how he was to
Dang,
everybody.
Slow down.
Yeah. So my grandmother like saved the family in a sense by putting the house in her name because she knew this is the kind of where it was
Yeah.
going. So they had that. But he was like, okay, I'll tell you some crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
I want to hear it. We podcast another exclusive right here. Mircko Talks. Come
Okay,
on.
let me beverage up.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Need some chance to
It was
loosen up a
kind
little
of,
bit.
it was hot, so I was like, I kind of drank this beverage a little quick because it's
Hey, look at that.
It was just yeah, I drink the way I eat. You know, I'm quick.
Yeah, I'm
you
the
know, I'm
same.
one of those.
Yeah, it was good.
And then especially because it's hot, so it's like, how are you not gonna drink a beverage?
Yeah, it's true. It's
with
true.
a little, oh shit, I forgot. Did the grandma's no measurement,
You
and
didn't
I
do the boom,
wasn't
boom,
even paying him in. Yeah.
Yeah, room,
Boom.
room, room.
Did you do the boom, boom, boom? That's a Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. We get that boom, boom. Let me get that.
DJ Danny in the house.
Oh shoot.
That is awesome. He comes with his own sound effects.
That's right. We don't need those soundboard things, whatever. Thingamajiggers.
He's all, is that a fog machine? What is
That was fog, right? It wasn't me.
It wasn't a duck. It was a stupid duck. And
Parking
that duck
spider.
follows me everywhere. I'm like, dude, do you have Affleck? He's like, nah, I got Geico.
Yeah,
That's-
Geico.
I'm like,
Oh, I love it. I love
yeah,
it.
that's the best. I'm like an inside joke person. Like when
Right.
I meet somebody and like, if it's something that's general
Uh-huh.
that people already know and you're on that vibe, you get it, you know. But especially
Yeah.
when you're like with that best friend and you know that movie,
Yeah. Oh,
and you're
gosh.
like, you're over here speaking in tongues, pretty much. Everybody's like, dude, these guys are weirdos, and you're
For
like,
real.
look at that fool, you know, over there. You're like, he doesn't even know.
I speak
He's
in
like,
movie quotes.
yeah.
I'm like, that's how I talk.
He's like, you know what he's gonna get? He's gonna get Snickle Fritz. Yeah, that's all he's getting. Snickle Fritz.
That's the best though, man. When you have that instant connect because of movie, because of the quotes, like people, and when people get it, you're like, oh, okay, they're
I know you have a good time. You're like, laugh so hard, I almost fell off my dinosaur. You say it at the same time. You're like, same favorite dinosaur, Velociraptor.
Oh my god, you sound like a mixture of Jesus and Bergen. Oh, it's the best movie ever, dude. Oh
Yeah,
man.
hell yeah.
But yeah,
Star
there
Wars
was
is
there was
good.
time because we sometimes we jump online and play some Call of Duty. But one of my boys, like, we always speak in quotes and movie
Oh, bro,
quotes.
you need to have like a Twitch.
Man,
I think we should do a Twitch.
let's do it.
We should do like a live stream Twitch Call of Duty thing where we just kind of like go and we're just like,
We're like this.
we'll just like half and half the video. And then like
Yes.
you do one from your house and I'll do one from mine. And then we'll join the videos and we'll just upload the Twitches like that.
It's actually not a bad idea because I don't think I've ever seen somebody like play a game and then kind of try to do interview style like podcast style. Like obviously people are gaming, but I think
I feel like we would have a lot of stuff to just talk about. Like
Yeah.
we'd be saying shit or whatever, and like somehow inside jokes would come up, and I'm like, dude, I've never even spent more than an hour with you. It's barely been 45 minutes
Yeah.
or whatever, and like
we already get
there's
this
inside jokes already.
Hey, already? It's like, come on, Mircko talks. That's right.
Let's go. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah, we got to do it.
That's interesting. I'm thinking about it.
I know, I'm telling you. All right, we got this Mircko Talks exclusive right here. You were gonna say something that was very exclusive, that was very
Oh yes.
Right
You're
here, you're gonna hear it on.
So
What is it?
So it's not okay. So it's about my grandfather. It's
Okay.
not like exactly crowd pleasing or like a positive thing per se.
Okay.
But it was Okay, so my grandfather was a jerk. Okay, guys, sorry to pop that bubble, burst that bubble. But so he was a little punk, like that. He was a little turd.
Yeah.
I never met him. I believe he wasn't in my dad's life longer than like, I don't know, maybe his first like 20 years maybe.
Mhm.
And I guess he passed away. I don't even think they found him, kind of thing. Like he passed away, I think, like trying to mine for gold. But he pretty much, the mine that he had, he he went after that and took all the gold out of that mountain. Like he mined the crap out of it pretty much. So he emptied it of its resources, right? Of its
Yeah.
gold or whatever. And but before all that, he would like be a lavish like spender. He had like a house with like 14 rooms or something like
Wow.
that. Like he had maids all over the place. He was doing
What?
scandalous things,
Your
even though
grandpa?
yeah, my
Oh.
grandpa, he had like a big ass house. Like he had a house, he had a table, like those typical like
The huge one.
like freaking like in Mortal Kombat when Goro's sitting right there
Oh
eating
my
that chicken
God.
and it's that big ass table.
Everybody, come
That's
on.
like back in the 90s. That's like in 96.
Jeez.
It was like one of those, but he had a rod that would be there and he's like, your old school customs, at least for us, is like your hands should not be down below because you could be messing around,
Yeah, for
playing
sure.
toys, doing something.
Exactly.
It looks inappropriate, like not inappropriate like that, but like inappropriate where like you could be just not focusing on like we're here to sit
Yeah.
for dinner, you're here with family,
me
So you
put my
keep your
hand
hands like this. Yeah, stop. Stop. And you keep your hands like this. So you're eating whatever, or if you're just using one hand, your other hand just stays up, and it's just like you don't put elbows on the table.
Yeah, I heard
It's
that
just like this. It's like a custom thing, right? And so when he'd see them like have their hands down, he'd have this long ass rod. I'd reach like this, and he'd be like, and just get those guys, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, sorry.
I want to do it again.
And then they're like, no, yeah, no chanclas, bro. They had rods. Like that guy was like,
Damn.
he was bad. He was evil, dude. Like he used to whip their ass. Like
That's crazy. So,
so,
go ahead, go
okay,
ahead.
so he would have like a big old house. He'd mess around with the housekeepers, even though my grandma knew.
Yeah.
Scandalous thing like that,
Damn, that's
and
crazy. Shady.
back in the day, like the women didn't speak up. They didn't have that
Oh, for
much of
sure.
a voice. So, and it was very old school. And in Peru, it's super old. Like back there, they're still more traditional than we are here. So imagine like back then, it was whatever it was here in the 40s.
Yeah.
Over there, it was like even worse.
Yeah.
Probably or more traditional. And he one of the things that my dad had told me is that he used to like ride around in his like limo or whatever, have his driver,
Yeah.
and in the glove compartment or one of the little compartments he had in the limo, he would pull out a diamond ring, and he'd be like, "Oh, baby, you're the one, this and that." But he used to have a
Wow.
bag full of diamond
Wow.
rings, and then he'd be like, "Oh, this and that, like you me," and gets what he wanted.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, "Sorry, I have a wife and kids. Bye. He can keep the ring later."
Oh, he gave
You
him the
know?
ring.
Oh yeah, he had a bag of rings. He had a bag of rings like you had a bag of breath mints to give out. Like
Tic-tac.
like yeah, tic tac. Yeah, sleep with me.
Dang.
Like that was pretty much.
That was his line.
That, I mean, yeah.
I mean, he went straight for it.
Yeah.
He's like, marry me here.
He's
Okay.
like, hey,
I'm married.
marry me, prove it to me. Tell me right now.
Okay, I don't want to marry you anymore. I'm married. I have kids.
So call me puppy. He's
Call
like,
me- Okay.
they're like, yeah, sure, please take me away, And then he's like, okay. And then after whatever happened, and then he's like, sorry, I got a wife, kids. I'm busy. Can't really do this anymore.
Now,
See you later.
was the diamond ring worth anything, or was it like?
Probably.
Oh man.
I mean,
okay.
it was diamond. It was diamond. My dad told me they were diamond rings, but the guy had money like crazy.
Fudge nugget. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So he used to do stuff like that. My dad, like, he wouldn't get my dad stuff or like he wouldn't like spoil them.
Uh-huh.
So like when he had that big ass, like he used to also own like an apartment complex or something like that, or a hotel or something. And my brother was like 8 years old or like 10 years old with my dad and his brother. They would do the plumbing for the place because my dad was like, "You better go fix that," this and that.
Damn, dude.
And then they'd go there, they're trying to fix it and stuff like that, and they're like, "Why is your brother sweating and you're not?" And my dad would get smacked, dude. He's
not
like,
sweating?
"You're not working hard enough," and he's like, "I don't sweat." So my dad
Like,
never
I
really
don't sweat,
sweats.
yeah.
He doesn't have the type of glands,
Yeah, some people don't.
And so, my uncle's probably like super pit sweats and everything.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I'm getting my ass spanked," and he's like, "Oh shit, sorry, brother." And that guy was like,
Damn.
"Whoosh," get it whipped. So they wouldn't get stuff. Other things that would happen too is they used to have neighbors. They were Japanese, and they
Okay.
would get their hands on like badass like Japanese yarn or Japanese twine of some sort, and they'd wax it up, like yo-yos,
Yeah.
and you'd wax them, and they would fly kites, and they would like kite fight.
That's pretty cool.
And so they would fight with each other. They had land, like
Yeah.
my great grandfather had land, or my grandfather had land, and then the neighbors, they must have had land too, right? So then they were like out there, and I don't know if they had like I don't know if you put blades on them or something like that, and I don't know how you fight, and you can cut people's twine. But my dad would
It's like
somehow
battle
figure out a
bots?
way to battle bot. That was so lame. And then they'd go and he'd swipe he'd like
What?
cut their twine somehow, and he did it so he could take their twine, he could take their stuff because
Yeah.
my grandfather wouldn't take them to go buy stuff. They
Yeah.
wouldn't, so he would have to like scrounge for things or get the cheaper stuff, and
Man.
then because he would only spend it on himself,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he was just a real jerk,
That's crazy.
and so you get in fights like that, and then I don't know if it happened that day, but then that Japanese, he was like, "What the heck?" And they had slingshots, and my
Yeah.
dad didn't have slingshots. He didn't
Yeah.
have anything.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Just my arm," So they were shooting
Chucking-
rocks at him, and he was chucking rocks, and like, bro, he knocked out like I think like 2 kids, dude. That they ended up coming to the house, and like I think he was like messed up. I think he hit him
No
like right on the
way.
top of the hand. It was like all purple. I don't know, but he like got him, dude. He was like.
Yeah, I got
watching
you.
him, he's like, ah.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
the other
with his
fools like
arm.
with slingshots. They're like, yeah. No, they didn't get him, dude. They didn't get him. My dad was like Call of Duty in that thing,
That's
but
right.
with
He's
his
like,
arm, bro.
bam,
Like
bam.
old school David Goliath type
That's
of
right.
like.
That's right. He's like, I
know?
don't need no slingshot. I just got my arm. Dang,
And
man.
yeah, dude. So they do that. The kid ends up going to the house with the dad and like, hey, your son, this and that. And then he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, this
Yeah.
and then turns around and goes, what are you doing? And whips my dad's ass because
That's-
he's bringing trouble to the house and all this. So
Damn,
it was
dude.
like, yeah, it was like nuts.
That's nuts, man. I mean, it's crazy that he pretty much was not there for your dad till the end, right?
Yeah.
Like,
He-
was there anything that like towards the end of his before he passed, was there anything that kind of snapped anyone like, I gotta change my ways, like or was it always till the very end, I'm not gonna help out?
Hell no. He didn't do nothing like that. Right? I didn't hear any stories like that.
Oh,
Like
my gosh.
everybody knew him as like the grumpy old man, pretty
Well-
much.
Well, that's like my abuelito was same thing, same ways, like very angry man. But towards the end, I think when my mom had me, babyito, he totally changed his demeanor.
You know who did that? My dad. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
But
no,
my
no,
dad,
that's
my
still
dad
good.
did the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
My dad actually,
You have to, man. You have
my
to.
dad was like that all the way until I was born, and then I had an attitude,
Yeah.
and I used to like get smacked for having that attitude, but it would like slowly start to
Yeah.
like, I don't know, maybe he lost his aggressiveness, or
Yeah.
like I slowly kind of changed him. I have no idea. I'll just take the, I'll take the hit, guys.
Yeah.
The siblings, I'm the one who did it.
Wait,
I'm
how many
I'm the one
brothers
who
you have?
changed them. Three half siblings, or
Okay.
like two half siblings, and three biological brothers and sisters.
Are you like the middle? Like,
I am the baby.
oh, your baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
my parents had me when they were 46, and my mom's first baby was 21. But she had three kids in her first marriage, and then she got married at 26 to my father,
Holy
who
cow.
my father had to kick the ex-husband's ass. He like, okay, so this is what he did. My
What?
dad used
Tell
to get
me.
in fights,
That's
bro.
a story right
My dad used to get in fights, bro. And then he was like, I think my mom said, "Oh, hey, so and so's coming to bug me, this and that," and like I told him to stop, the
Yeah.
ex-husband. And my dad's like, "What?" And he always used to get in fights, bro. And I have more stories. I think I said some in the last podcast, but you guys are gonna hear it again anyway, so
Hear it
Danny
again. I
can
want to
hear
hear.
it.
I want to hear this.
So my dad goes and finds him, drives down the streets. I don't know, found him at an intersection. I think it was at a stop sign. He got out and he said he's like, "Le me di bien," like I measured him right. You just
Yeah.
understand Spanish,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So he's like, "Le me di bien." Well, I guess for you guys, until
Yeah.
he measured, and he was like, I calculated it, and he went and he kicked my mom's ex-husband through the window, and he's like he had to like shift, let his body kind of go with it, so
Yeah.
he would like kick and then
Wow.
boom, and he kicked him right in the mouth, and he's like,
Cobra Kai.
oh, and he's like, dude, seriously.
Holy
And son, and like just one to the
Strike
face. And yeah, knocked the guy out,
No
whatever,
way,
and then he was going at
damn.
it. But my dad used to get in fights all the time. Like and he used to get in fights by headbutting. So he
His
used to
strongest part, yeah.
he did that so much that a guy saw my dad fight and was like, "Hey, I want you to teach me." And then so Cobra Kai Dojo.
Cobra Kai Dojo.
So pretty much he ended up teaching this guy who was like 5 foot nothing,
Yeah.
little guy, probably got picked on. And they were assuming they were probably in their like mid-20s or something
Yeah.
like that. And then there was a guy that would punk him. And he's like, "Yeah, I want to get him." Like, so they take some time and they would like practice. And my dad was like, "This is
Yeah.
how you got to do it. This is how you blah, blah, blah." And then, excuse me. And then he ends up seeing that guy. And then I guess like he kind of let the guy kind of like have a couple drinks or
Yeah.
whatever. And he was like, "Yeah, I don't care. I'm going to just knock you out, blah, blah, blah." And I guess he
Damn.
went after him. And he's like, boom. And the little 5 foot guy went up to this guy. I think he was like 6 foot or whatever. He was like, boom,
Headbutt.
knocked him. And just like, my dad always tell him, you gotta hit him right here
Yeah,
between
right there.
like right by the brow, between the brow
Yeah.
and the mouth and the nose. Like this is the game. This is the sweet spot, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, boom. And he's like, oh, his whole mouth is all bleeding. He's like knocked out. The guy didn't
Yeah.
do anything. Never bugged him again.
That's it.
Time goes by, and that guy ends up kind of getting into a scuffle with my dad
Uh-huh.
and tries to use that technique against my dad.
It's like
And my dad is like 6'2", somewhere around
Yeah.
there back in the younger days, right?
Sure.
Because, old people shrink.
Did he shrink?
And I felt like I shrank, dude. I was like, I kept telling everybody, I'm 5'11" and a half. I'm
Stop
almost
it.
6 foot.
Say
And then
5'12",
I'm like,
5'12".
5'10". I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Like, I'm
Where
shrinking.
are my shape ups?
For real, dude.
Where are my platforms?
You get my platform.
Bitch, hold my poodle. So he ends up fighting that guy, and the guy, I guess, went after my dad, tries to go for the head, but my dad says all he did was he shifted down half a foot, and the guy headbutted his own face into my dad's forehead,
yeah,
and
that's the
he
strongest
basically
part of the body.
he invertedly caused the same effect by just adjusting himself. So
Yeah.
while him getting hit, he just moved his head into the place for the guy to smash his own
Yeah.
face into my dad's forehead.
And that's strong right there.
And
That's-
so,
that's right there, the dome.
that's something that you guys need to remember. Beware if you're trying to attack your master.
Yeah, you
you
can't.
can't attack the Yoda.
Yeah.
You can't attack the
You can't
hand
do
that
that.
feeds you. You can't bite the hand that
Because
feeds
he
you. bro.
taught you everything.
He knows. He knows it.
Yeah, dude. That's
A real master doesn't teach the student everything.
exactly.
You
Just
never
like
know.
little,
Until the very end. Unless you're gonna die and you're like, okay,
yeah. Learn this.
this is the secret. Go find, go search. You find for yourself.
Oh shoot! I don't think I gotta ask you the same question. So the fights that I've been in, they were like set up to be a fight, but there's been situations where I just try to use my words because I'm like, listen, if I can talk my way out of this, that's great. Because I don't want to be getting hurt. I got too much, I got to live for. I'm like, because anything can happen, man. You can either get in the fight, you can knock somebody out, or you can get knocked out yourself. And there was one instance where it was a Padre game, like maybe 5 years ago, and we were in the Mexican restaurant. I remember this. Albert Tacos sponsors today.
Is that one that's right in there?
It's in
The one where
Encinitas.
you can. Oh, okay, never mind.
Encinitas, yeah.
Oh, okay, so before the game.
Oh, after the game.
Oh, after.
So we went to the Padre game. After the game, we went to the bars. We went to Albert Tacos to get some burritos. And I remember
Nice.
I was in
It's
line.
pretty good.
It was really good.
Okay, okay.
I was ready.
I'm a big
yeah.
food guy. I like food. Like
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big foodie.
Well, it's good at 1:00 in the morning. So that kind of food.
Everything's good after a couple drinks.
That kind of food. I'm like, just tell me you feed me. But I remember I was waiting in line, and I remember this guy. You can tell when you see somebody's ego like puff up.
It's at the neck.
It's at the neck.
You can feel it. You're like,
Feel it, and I'm like, and I can kind of tap into like a couple energy. I'm like, okay, I can see you, I can feel you. And I remember this guy was so mad. He was looking for a fight, and I was in front of him, and I was getting ready to order, and I happened to just turn around and I caught eyes. And when you catch eyes with like a rooster or like a shark, you either gotta think quick on your feet or you gotta be ready to scrap. And I looked at him right in the eye, and he looked at me in the eye, and he's ready to like do something. And I saw his hat. I'm like, Padres, man, Padres won. I instantly changed the energy, and he went like, yeah, they won. It totally flipped, and he was like, yeah, cool, like yeah, they did win. High five.
do you think he really had those intentions for him to flip a switch so bad?
Listen to this.
Uh-oh.
So I literally 2 minutes. So we high five. Like, what up? Like, okay, Padres, yeah.
Was he on the same level you were? Kind of thing?
Well, I was like, when I get a little buzz, like I'm talkative. I'm like taking videos. I'm like, what up? Stuff like that. But I'm never looking for a fight. I'm just looking to have a good time. He was on the same level in the sense of amount of alcohol, but on like angry side, like he's ready to fight.
So he's not a friendly.
He's not a friendly, yeah, and that's
friendly
what
guy.
happened. But I instantly changed. I shifted the energy. He's like, hey, high five and everything. 2 minutes. I'm like, now I'm in front of the line getting ready to order. This other guy pops in. This other guy just pops in. I remember there's like ball white dude with glasses.
Don't tell me he was just looking for something.
Dude, he all he did was pop in. He's just standing there, not even trying to cut in front of it. He's just like looking at the menu, and same thing. He did the same thing I did, and he looked at the menu and looked at the guy, and the guy caught eyes, except he didn't say anything, and all of a sudden he just threw an elbow, boom, right in the face. This tiny guy.
You should have been like, Padres, say Padres.
Wait, Padres.
Don't say Dodgers.
Don't say something for the love of God.
The Charger, we missed the Chargers or something.
Dude, he smacked him with the elbow.
He's all looking at you. Raiders. Oh! We got his ass beat even worse.
Dude.
He's all calling his tios and his cousins.
Help me, for real, dude.
Hey, Primos, get down here. We got a Raider fan.
Yeah, we got a Raider fan over here. We gotta get to
We got a Raider fan at 9 o'clock.
We're gonna jump this guy. Dude, knocked out, lights out. The thing that the elbow knocked him out, but the thing that hit him the most was when he
fall.
fell. Yeah.
Yeah, the falls are like the worst part, really.
Yeah, you can't catch yourself. I mean, you're knocked out cold. He bled everywhere. Boom, bled everywhere, and that was it, man. That guy was like a professional skater. Like he was somebody who was like very talented and like wrong place, wrong time, man. And he didn't say Padre.
How'd you know he was a professional skater?
I found out afterwards because I'm like, the cops showed up.
It came up on the news or something?
I don't think it came on the news, but I remember I was asking around. Like people were asking, like, "Hey, what happened?" And I was there, so I saw what happened. And I'm like drunk out of my mind. He's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "Dude, he just asked for a burrito." And I'm like, "That's probably not funny because this guy. I'm hoping he's okay. I hope he's."
The cop asked you?
No, just people in general.
They're all, what kind of burrito?
Burrito, California.
Oh, it's California burrito. What an insult to a Mexican restaurant.
That's why he got knocked out in his face. He was okay at the end.
Definitely no real Mexican. He's a white guy, you said? Makes sense. What do you mean you want sour cream in your burrito? What the la
good. Yeah, not what knocked him out.
Mierda, sounds like.
He was. That's what they. And I was like, I said, I try to be funny, but I'm like, probably not. But he was okay. He's okay. And then it's just he. And then later on, like people were asking, like I'm like, people were like, talking and all that stuff. They're like, oh, he was a professional skater. I'm like, oh, well, he got knocked out, dude. Like it wasn't his night, man, because he definitely went to the hospital. Blood like splatter. It was bad, man. It was really bad. But I think that was the closest I ever been to, like actually.
Such a brutal.
Yeah. to scrap. Yeah. Other than that, man, I'm like, I don't have
You're
a.
like, man, that really took a real 180. Skater pun.
You skate.
Oh, what a knee slapper.
360 flip.
Let me get that drum set. Let's go. Insert the sound cue.
Yeah, it's
Is it a sound bite?
That
Or is
sound
it-
bite. That's the hot
Come on,
cue
Danny.
sound bite. Yeah, no.
God, Danny, where are you?
I
Where's
know.
your what is it called? That little touch board? Your little.
The pads. The hot
Oh,
pads.
okay, yeah. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. That comes in handy, man.
Yeah, I bet it does. That's cool. You can do anything on there, right? You can preset them, right?
You preset them. The best thing. So, on another note, like when DJing, like when going into like an event, I'm always thinking of like different ways. No, for real, like
That one.
Because as a DJ, if you don't have a mic, you got to figure out a way to communicate to your audience. Like if you want to stand out and be
Do
different.
you usually, because you usually MC, don't you? I mean, it's good for you because now the way that you are, that I've seen you, it seems to be like your niche. Like it seems to be your thing now, you know? It's
Yeah.
to MC it, you know?
MC it because it's just like you, man. Because you love to speak, you love to talk, you have your own flow of energy. So same thing with me. Like with DJing, I know I can. Anybody can mix anything they want. Music. You find the right songs. But when you find your niche, my niche happens to be like, chiming in and trying to announce and trying to MC. Like, like there's one thing that I do. It's like one of my my secrets, which I'm going to tell right now, but. It hits so much like a generation like my generation and other people understand this, but when I am playing music and I need a reset button, I need like to hype people up, like at weddings in particular, I always stop the music, like stop the music, and I say, hey, either the bride and groom just came up to me right now. They say, Danny, and there's like a lie that it didn't happen. They're like, Danny, stop the music and play my track. I'm like, and I'm gonna play their track because they're the bride and the groom. So I got this. And of course, like everybody sounds like, what? And the bride and groom are like, what is going on? And I just put Pony by Genuine. And I play, it goes, bam, 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 bam. And it's never not worked. Like it's worked every time.
Oh,
and energy's like, everybody's like, oh my God. And then the bride and groom get like, a little frisky on the dance floor, whatever. But it's just, those things that I've learned throughout my course, throughout my career of DJing, like I always pick things up. Like I know how to find certain moments. It's like timing. Timing is everything.
Yeah.
And you gotta,
My lady was like, what did I say? I said something and I was like, yeah, I like to talk. And then she's like, yeah, you like to talk. And then a word that it came right now when you were saying that is, she's like, yeah, you need to read the room. And I was like, yeah, that's what it is. You got to read the room, But I'm like, you know what? I am reading the room. It's my room. It's my podcast. I'm gonna talk as much as I want. And
but
I
that's
was
what
like,
it is. You have so many
that's
stories
it.
to tell. Yeah, you're a good talker. You're a good flow, like a good and you have big words. Obviously, whatever that word was that you used earlier.
Oh yeah. What was it? Carne asada fries. It's all one word.
It's all one word.
Papa con carnita fry frito.
But you have that smooth way of talking, which is why you can carry on a conversation. People can enjoy it, and obviously you enjoy when people are talking back.
So especially the ones that kind of keep it going. Luckily I've been fortunate enough to kind of have it. Sometimes you get a little shy people. Sometimes so you kind of like tell them, hey, you like that Jameson? Hey, go ahead and have
pop it in
another
real
one.
quick.
Because sometimes they need to relax a little bit.
Yeah, because it is, man.
So,
it's like they're not used to it.
It's different. Yeah, I know. I haven't been doing it for years. But when you're telling me, you're like, oh, have I done this before? Or like, did I really have something? And I go, no. What really came into mind is I was like, I don't like what I'm doing for work. So what am I going to do next?
Yeah.
And then you kind of go on YouTube, you browse, you do a rabbit hole.
For sure.
All of a sudden you come up to something that catches your eye.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at a guy who's like, oh, yeah, I make $10,000 a month on YouTube. And I'm like, what? How did you do that? And they're like, yeah, I'm vlogging and do this and that. I go, all right, vlogging. I guess I'll try vlogging. So then I try to like, okay, maybe I get a camera. But like I was the type that like I kind of, I'm like, I kind of want it.
Yeah.
I want a legit camera. I don't just want like whatever camera. Like if I'm gonna commit, I really want to commit and like make it happen. And then
But I think you're one to do that. You're one to learn whatever camera you get. You're one to learn it. You're like, I'm gonna take because you're hungry, dude. You're so hungry, you want like you're not just like, hey, I'm gonna buy this thing and then let it sit on the counter. Or maybe you've done that once or twice before, but
I've done it before, which is why I was like, I need to commit.
Yeah.
And I really want to commit. I really want to make it happen. So luckily, it just like one thing came, and then I found a guy. His name was Casey Neistat. He's super famous.
Oh, dude, he's
and then I was like,
amazing.
oh yeah. And then I started taking notice into different lenses and
Very
what
inspiring.
they do. And then I was like, maybe I should take a class. No, I'm just gonna learn on YouTube. And then everything I've learned has been on YouTube.
You can learn
And
it.
so I taught myself everything and that I've learned so far. I know I have a lot more to learn. I have different gear that I didn't even know I could
Yeah.
utilize and stuff to make different effects and different looks.
For sure.
And so I've been getting into that. And then she has her business, so I try to start a business, or I try to start the looks and the
Yeah.
and do the different product shoots and everything. And so I'm trying to be creative, and like I even told him like, all right, I know what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
We're gonna black everything out in the
You have
in
a
the living
vision, yeah.
room, and then we're gonna put these lights over here, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
get the fog machine, and we're gonna do. She's like, where is this coming from? Okay, how are we gonna do that? And I was like, okay, don't worry about it. I'm
Yeah.
gonna see it. I can see it already. I'm like, don't worry, I got it.
Yeah.
Your model's just gonna walk out and just like boom, and like it's gonna be fierce, you know, like you don't
Yeah.
need a catwalk, but you're gonna make it fierce like it, you
Yeah.
know, like just boom, just like emerge from the
Yeah.
smoke, from the fog, and then like we'll have a little fan, so it's like
Mhm.
it you have to in a sense like excite the particles in the smoke because certain machines like a fog machines is cheap from what I've seen, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
from what I'm learning is that like a fog machine just provides the smog, but the haze machine
Haze is
actually
best.
like yeah. So I don't even know
Yeah.
the difference per se, but I understand the effect that it's that it's going for. I just don't know how the mechanics work of it.
Yeah.
But you seem to get it. So you guys, in case you want to know what I'm talking about, is just that there needs to be movement. So that's what I meant by exciting the particles of the smoke.
Like, what are you doing with
Is,
these particles?
Yeah, like wow, wow, wow. He's all Mircko. You told me
He's gonna excite these
you with
particles.
this play your song. Whirl. Either I look like I'm gonna do a Hadouken pretty soon, a Dragon Ball Z
I
thing,
think it's like Dragon
or
Ball Z.
you know,
Hadouken.
cut to commercial.
We got Sub-Zero over here.
Cut to commercial. Hulu ads.
Oh,
You're like,
my
I swear I got the Hulu Prime. What the hell are these commercials
What's
coming through?
commercials, man? Come on. Watched last night. We're
Wait. He's talking about Ace Ventura when nature calls. Okay.
he's like, Ace, you have it. I can see it in your eyes. And he's like Ace Ventura. He's like,
Oh, which one is that? I don't
it's
remember that.
Nature Calls. Is the second one.
Oh, nature calls.
When he's in the monks. He's in the monks.
Oh, it's been a while. It's
Dude,
like,
I'm gonna send that
oh,
clip
mama.
now.
Oh, mama.
That's the same one. That's the one.
Yeah, I know. I know. He's like,
I'm meditating.
he's they
There.
really love you. He's he's talking the floor. He's like,
Show
they all come out.
Yeah, that's right.
He's all Chicago. You're out of there. Bumblebee tuna. Your balls are showing.
Oh, that's what he says. Bumblebee tuna. Excuse me. Your balls are showing. Bumblebee tuna.
I was like, what was that? I was in
movie is
class.
classic.
I was in class yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, Bumblebee tuna. And then like the guy was like doing his lecture, and he's like, all right, I gotta focus. He didn't say anything, but
He knew though.
I was like, I gotcha. When my kid gets me in a joke, he's like, I got you good.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was like, I got you good.
Gotcha.
He's out mid lecture. He's like, Christ, I'm thinking of balls now. And tuna.
And tuna put together. Oh shoot.
Dude.
Damn, that's good.
So, man, we've definitely like gone over some like stories and stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah.
what is so a lot of the things, the whole part of this podcast is I love to link up with not only people just because I do like the interaction that I have, but linking up with professionals.
Mm-hmm.
I like to find out what their motive is and what their focus is and what they're doing and why they're doing it and where they're going.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know. So
for
like,
sure.
what's your current what's your bandwidth right now? Like, where's your focus really going to right now? And then what do you have in mind? Any potential projects? And then where do you know that you're going or where your end goal is?
Yeah.
For all this.
No, for sure. So, I mean, the whole point is the company like 35 Productions. You know, there's always the side hustles like the logo, like selling merch and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the main thing is to just make this 35 Productions Entertainment like just known for its quality, and that's why I try to get all the main artists, the people that I feel like are very, very talented in their realm. You know, it's really cool. Whether it's video, whether it's dancing, like guitarists, singers, like all us DJs, I always try to, just like you, I always try to link up with people because you know, they have a lot to offer, man. They have a lot of knowledge, and that's the whole point. Is like just always trying to grow. Now, the thing that I try to do is continue to hustle. There's been a point in time where, you know, with the company that it was good. Like I was very comfortable. I was good. I was content with all the things, with all the clients I was getting, and I stopped like pushing myself. I stopped like accepting gigs. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. Like, let me just do this. Which you can do that if you're getting the right clientele, but it was, for me, it was like a point of resting time, you know. And then I just got remotivated with, even with quarantine. When the quarantine happened, I'm like, with the live streams that I did, it's just being able to, you know, because I have, you know, I have my, what I want to share is music, energy, like happiness, like, you know, not getting punched in the face, you know.
Yeah.
But all that stuff is, I'm trying to spread out. So why not continue to hustle and stay hungry, stay motivated? And I always look for that in people. I'm like, you hungry? Okay,
Yeah.
let's go eat. Let's go. Let's do this show. Let's do this show so it can get us to the next one.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing in the company. Like, I started out not knowing what to like. I'm sure you too. Like with video, I don't know what to charge. Like, I had no idea what to charge people for doing something that I love, whether it was video or music. And then I got to the point where I'm like, I started seeing. I'm like, oh, people are enjoying themselves. Like, people are really having a good time. What is that value? What can I charge? So then I started little. And then when you get those glances, when people are like, when you tell them a number, so like in the beginning, I'm like, people are like, hey, how much do you charge for the 4-hour party DJing? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, 150 total? And they're like, yeah, sign me up right now. And I'm like, oh shoot, I should want to hire. So it's
I should have said 155.
I should have said 155. Gosh. But in the
Got my
beginning,
lunch.
in the beginning, I was like, hell yeah. I'm like, I'm DJing. Like, I'm doing music for 4 hours, which I love to do. I'm down, because my whole mindset was, I used to work at the Boys and Girls Club San Diego, and I was getting, you know, a check every 2 weeks. And I told myself, like, if I can get that money just by DJing, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna sidetrack and do what I love to do, because I feel like I made it. If I'm gonna get that money and survive off of, you know, these checks, then I want to do that. And that's when I ventured off into DJing, invested in my equipment, which I asked you earlier if you ever paid for something and not used it. I've done that plenty of times, because I wanted to DJ and I bought the most. Even my dad has been my biggest supporter. I bought the most expensive equipment. I went to Best Buy. I drove 8 hours to get this piece of equipment. Went to Best Buy.
Oh, it was one of those where you couldn't wait.
I couldn't
and you
wait.
You had to find the Best Buy.
I was
who had it available. You're like,
yes.
Chico, and you're
Yeah.
like, damn, I gotta go to Chico, and you're like,
Yes.
in Merced or something.
But you're so motivated and so inspired that you're like, I gotta go. Why wouldn't I go? And I did, and I went. But
That's why thank you Amazon Prime for not making me wait.
Exactly. Amazon Prime. Thank you for sponsoring this podcast.
I have an addiction, so
I
I
do
need
too.
that Amazon
I
Prime.
do too. I bought these shoes on Amazon Prime.
I'm like, when I order at Walmart.com or something like that, or Target, and you're like, 3 to 5 days.
like, what is it? Amazon Prime the next day.
If this was Amazon, if this was Target or Walmart, like,
Gotcha,
like one of those, like that Batman one where he's like, and he's smacking Robin or whatever. It's exactly what I would have done.
The best.
Amazon Prime, I'm like, you my girl,
Dude, for real.
you the one. You the one for me.
Boxes of Amazon come, and it's like so good because they're so efficient.
Like if they don't knock in like 3 days, you're like, dude, I haven't ordered anything. I think I might need to order.
Yeah,
I buy everything off of there. It's
I
pretty
think
much.
we have an addiction. I think.
If it's not food, I think I'm pretty much ordering. And like I'm like, oh, if I need some of this, and I'm not in a rush to get it, like I need. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ordering paper towels, but let's just say I probably could. Or I'm like, oh, I want those cookies, or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm not in a rush.
Amazon Prime,
and I have it free. You know what I mean? Like, so it just comes in,
dude.
And then it's like, you know, sorry, but
that's what I'm saying. Like Amazon Prime, like they made a business out of. I mean, it was books, right?
They made a business out of businesses.
Business as a business. It's like, dude, how? Like that, now you can't even think about not ordering.
That's when business is business. You know,
business.
And like, yeah, that's crazy. They just made money off of people's. Off of people, you know, like, hey, we can get it there. Like, they're just a distribution. They're a logistics company, you know, like they're just distribution, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. But they used to be books. They had their vision of the books, and it just led into, you know, this.
Mr. Bezos.
Oh, Mr. Bezos, man.
Dang,
but that's like
Bezos is like, he's gonna come out with like, I got 1,000 Bezos.
Yeah.
2,000 Bezos on there. 3,000 Bezos.
Sold
to the man with a 3,500 Bezos. Is that Jeff Bezos?
Jeff Bezos. But that's the businesses, man. That's like, you know, you got to start from somewhere. But obviously, Jeff Bezos didn't stop. Like, he just kept on hustling because he was hungry. He saw something. He saw his vision, you know. And that's what I try to do in my business. Like, I don't ever want to stop growing. I think as a human being, like, you want to learn new tricks. You want to learn new traits and use that into whatever you love, enjoy. And that's why, you know, I try my best every day to kind of learn something. And right now it's music. So I always try to get new music, new styles. Like I use my voice to sell, what's it called? My services. But Now I can add music. Now my
Yeah.
my thing is timing. Like I want to be on point every single
Read
time.
the room. Yeah, that's a
Read
big thing you
the
got to
room.
do. That's a very key trait of yours, like a skill that you have to as a DJ,
Yeah.
right? You gotta read the room. That's like the number one priority, pretty much.
I mean, you know what's funny is that I do it in practice. Like, of course, like I said, going back to DJing, like you try to make your stamp. You know, you can just be mixing in the back, but I'm always like keen on listening on what's going on, because if I
Yeah.
hear a trigger word, I'm like, oh, let me find that in the song. So an example is for the tennis tournament. I don't know if you know Jeff Blake, but he's a legend. Like in tennis, like there's two legends going back and forth in this tennis tournament, and they're old school, so they're not like the new top 10 people in the world,
Yeah.
but they are legends. They were in the past, and they were playing for this charity event, and I'm DJing, and the stadium's packed, like it's packed house, and
How many
and
people are in there?
God, like thousands. I don't know. Like I gotta
Shit.
send you a picture, man. 'Cause
Bro,
it's
if it was
not-
like 1,000 or 2,000, I'm like, that's a lot of. I
It's
think
a
it's a lot of people for like just a
It's-
two-person match.
I'll
You know?
tell you one that put the most pressure on me after like I mean, I feel because the music's so loud, and of course if you mess up on a song or if you play a track during like they're playing, like that's so it's a lot of pressure, but I thrive on that. Like I'm like I enjoy this. I enjoy that pressure.
Yeah, you either let the pressure drive you down or you let the pressure build you up. You know?
Exactly, and it builds me up because there's this instance where they're legends playing, and they're older, and I remember, and I'm listening out for trigger words, and they're playing back and forth, and then somebody wins a point, and James Blake, I'm sorry, James Blake, says, "Man, this is like, I feel like we're slow. I feel like this is like in whatever, it's like slow," and that's what he said, and then I'm like, "Oh shoot."
Bow, bow, bow.
It was- James Blake said, "Stop the music right now." He said, "Play this song real quick."
He said, "Play your guys' song.
Pony J.
It's your track."
But for real,
He's like,
he's like,
you looking
"Hey,
like that,
it's
like that Snapchat filter
Yeah,
where you're
that's
like,
it. Oh my
you're doing
God.
that. You see that?
Hey.
You see that?
Yeah.
You're like, what is this guy doing? He's making an omelet right now. You see me? He's like, damn that
I
up.
love that. It's like moving like this. I'm like,
Tanya McKenna.
McKenna. Oh my God.
Tanya McKenna, you're gonna be famous.
That's right. Like McKenna. Use that.
She
Clip
just
that.
got like another 500 followers.
That's
Thank
right.
you to us.
Clip that real quick.
Thank you, Mircko Talks, and a soundbite for Danny Castillo.
Oh.
So you're playing what song?
Okay.
They're going?
And tell me if you know, because so he said it once. He said slow, and then I documented that in my brain. I'm like, okay, cool. And then the next thing he said it again. So I was like already searching for something that said slow, and then he said it one more time right before he was about to serve. He's like, dang man. He's like, I feel like we're playing in slow motion.
Do they have mics?
They had mics.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
had-
yeah.
So it's perfect.
Because they're like a celebrity. It's like a celebrity feel. It's more entertainment
More-
than the
yeah.
rather like
They-
the action,
Yes.
actual like relay, rallying back and forth like a
Yeah,
real
so
competitive.
this event was called the All Stars game. So we had like Maria Sharapova, like we had the greats like playing, but it was a charity event, and then they were like the legends that just played during a part of the game. And
Is
they
it
were
like
playing
that one guy who does those weird tricks and he's like he does this and he goes and he's this is his racket and so he does little trick shots. He messes with people and like he's gonna hit the ball and he goes and he like
Dude.
flips it and he goes like this and then they're like and it stutters and then
Yeah,
they're like who's that guy?
I forgot his name.
He's like a
He's amazing.
excuse me, I don't know if it's Asian or Middle Eastern because I know like certain Middle Eastern-ish type of similarities are like
Yeah.
in Asia. So,
Yeah.
nobody,
Yeah.
don't care at me, please. Don't shadow block me, whatever the hell you guys call it. But that guy, he has a different name and
Yeah.
he does little tricks.
He does tricks. Yeah. I
So
forgot
he wasn't there?
he wasn't there, so it was like it
Okay.
was.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
He has a mustache.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
exactly. He's really good, dude.
Yeah.
Really talented.
He's
But
awesome.
a lot of those players, like they'll come for these events. But in that particular, we had James Blake, we had Maria Sharapova, we had Coco Vanderway, who was like top 10 in the world, top 20. So we get a lot of people who are like top of the world. It's called the All Stars, and they were the legends. So they were playing back and forth, and he had said a slow motion. He's like, hey, I feel like we're playing a slow motion.
Just making sure this doesn't go off.
And the song, so me, that trick, I only had like 10 seconds to think of a song to capture this moment to see if I could do it in time. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I typed in and I'm like, got it. So I waited for it to be completely silent right before the serve. Because in tennis, like you got to be quiet.
Yeah.
This one is a little different because it's charity, but still people have that tendency to follow the rules so that everybody's quiet. He's
It's
about
like
to
a
serve.
golf drive.
Exactly. And right before he was getting ready to serve, and right when he said that, he said, I feel like we're in slow motion. And I'm like,
Slow motion from me. Slow.
Boom. So I hear that, dude, slow motion for me, and the whole stadium cracked. The James, like the legends, like cracking. Maurice, everybody's cracking up, and that was it was a moment in time that I'm like, you know, that helped create that. You know, everybody has a part, obviously, but I helped create that moment, and that people will remember, hopefully.
Yeah.
And it was just so cool because I'm like, that
could be in like YouTube highlights for like funniest moments in celebrity, tennis matches.
funny. And
Like that one guy that does the tricks. I wouldn't doubt that would be that. I've seen DJ I've seen DJ impacts in like those things.
Oh God, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that's gotta happen. So right now when you said that, I literally thought, because that guy was funny already.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hear like the guys and they're like, they're looking at the DJ,
That's what it's about though, because anybody, you can have your gift, you can have your talent, but if somebody else can come in and kind of what's it called, like brighten it up a little bit, I guess. So like even if I do like
kind of like just compliment the whole thing,
compliment. That's exactly what I was looking for. Because if I announce something, I can say like, attention, come on, make sure you get your jackpot, whatever. If I'm doing something, fine. But if there's music underneath this, like undertone, like it's only gonna help increase the excitement of the announcement. And that's what I'm saying. So that's what I try to do as a DJ. I'm trying to make my stamp, also make that other person look good, be funny, and just stand out. And that's what I have a lot of fun with. So I'm like constantly like thinking of ways to,
I was thinking for the whole time. I was like, what song is a slow motion song? What song was it? It was like
slow motion, and that was perfect.
That was like my freshman year.
Yeah, remember that? It's like high school. I'm like, but that's it's just, and that's what I like to thrive on. It's just like timing, and kind of being on point. And I really really enjoy that. I had a couple of those, like the fun ones, like just being perfectly timed.
What was the best like memorable like moment that you've had, whether it was somebody you highly esteemed, maybe it was a role model, maybe it wasn't, but like it was like a situation that was maybe surreal, or like you just had like a complete blast because like everything just fell into place?
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because there was one time.
Like, I don't want to boast about it.
I don't want to boast about it, but there was two different. One was good, like damn, this is, you have the clarity of like, I was laying down, I'm like, is this happening right now? Like, is this? So it was
take a breath moment.
Take a breath, take it all in, and that was when it was same thing, dealing with the aviators with tennis. And I remember there was a time where I was at Sequan Casino Resort, and I was DJing over there, and there came a time where both of them clashed. And there was a moment in time where Joe Cipriano, where he was getting ready to go on this trip to New York, and one of the GMs at the time called me and said, "Hey Danny, we're gonna go to this finals. Do you want to come with us?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "When are we going?" He's like, "It's gonna be this date. We're gonna go on the G6." And I'm like,
"What?
G6? Like the song? like a G6?
Girl, like a G6
fly. I'm like, okay, come on. And I'm like, and I looked, and it didn't click at first. I'm like, you know what? Let me check my dates and my calendar. And I checked the calendar, and I was booked up. And I was like,
it's all nothing. It's all empty. You're like, let me check my dates. Oh, it's tough. It's tough.
I got the G7 on Tuesday, G8.
It goes, wash my car. Maybe go to the DMV on a Friday, and you're like, it looks tough. I'll see if I can pencil you in.
Lay in self-loathing. I can cancel dinner by myself.
I'll call you back. I know. Cancel my other Netflix account.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll call you right back. And you're all, click. What did I do? You call it back. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm free.
I booked.
I penciled you.
I booked. And it was that time where I'm like, where I hung up the phone. I'm like, I'm booked. Like, I can't. I have this date. Like, I'm pretty on it. When I have a gig, I'm gonna be there, because I feel like people, when they hire me, like they want my services. So I'm like, I can't do this. And then lo and behold, good friend Joe Cipriano, the golden voice, calls me. He's like, Danny, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm over here. I'm getting my equipment ready. He's like, I heard you're not going. I'm like, yeah, I can't, man. I have a gig. He's like, figure it out. With his voice, like, figure that out right now.
He's like, I'm gonna call him with the legit voice right now.
He's like, all new Simpsons on Fox. Figure it out. It's like, figure this out. I'm like,
it's a deal or no deal.
And deal or no. And he's like, once in a lifetime opportunity. You never know you're gonna get a chance like this. We're going to New York on a G6 to watch this amazing match. And we're going to New York. And immediately I felt what he was saying. I'm like, all right, let me figure. So I
Put the gun away, John. Put the gun away, John.
Put it up. I hung up the phone, and guess who I called?
Oh, McKenna?
Tuggy McKenna.
Oh, yeah.
I called Tuggy McKenna. I'm the only person that can cover that I feel can cover the same type of energy, same type of personality. I'm like,
nice.
she covered.
You said your sister.
Cousin.
Sorry.
And she had something like booked up too, like she had a practice session or something. But I told him like, Tanya, please, like I appreciate, I owe you big time. Like, just can you cover, please? And she's like, let me find out. So she called within an hour, and she's like,
dinner with myself.
Car
Car wash.
Here's some loathing. Tanya
Clean
McKenna.
the sink again.
Clean the sink again. And she said, I'm there. So she pretty much she covered for me, and I'm so glad it happened because going through that trip. I mean, I posted a blog on there, but going on that plane, like just first of all being on that plane and having my luggage and going like, I gotta check in, like can I take this, like I have a big suitcase. People are like, Danny, you literally just walk on the jet, like it's right there. I'm like I never experienced anything like this. I didn't want to touch anything on the plane. I'm like, I don't want to do. I'm coming from Hispanic family, like we appreciate anything we got, like anything. My mom and dad raised me very well, but I appreciate it. I just don't want to mess anything up.
Yeah.
And going through that, flying to New York, long flight, landing in New York. There was one thing I had to say. So when we landed, it was so funny. We landed, and like a car picked us up on the landing strip, like right when we get out. When we're waving, we're like this, and car picked us up and drove us freaking like maybe 20 feet into the Mercedes, like the big truck that everybody can fit. It was like 20 feet. I'm like, I could have walked it, but I liked it. I kind of like this thing. But it was going through that whole experience. And I'm like, and really understand, like, this is pretty cool. Like, maybe I won't experience this again, but I'm like, I'm in the moment. I'm in that feeling. Going to my hotel room, getting the cookie they give, laying down, going like, what is happening? Like, I work so hard, and this is just great to kind of just soak it all in.
You're probably going to get your second in when you're going to be like, oh my God, is that caviar? Hey, can I have that reebok? Hey, you going to finish that?
Let me get that real quick.
Oh, let me try that.
Yeah, that looks great. That looks good. Let me take some shots.
I tried that, John. It's great. It tastes great, John.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's so good.
Those silk underwears, oh my gosh, John, those are good. He's like, you tried those?
I'm in my robe.
They give them away for free in the bathroom.
I'm in my robe.
And the robe, it says John Cipriano. You're like, is this yours?
Joe, I'm sorry.
He's like, Joe.
Why you worry?
He's like, you better get your shit together.
You better get that.
Figure it out.
Figure that stuff out. ASAP.
He's all, no deal. No deal.
No deal. I'm
sure. Happening.
Joe, I know you've done that deal or no deal. Deal or no deal. I know you see whatever it did. But that was a surreal moment, and that's what that's what I try to work for. I try to work for those moments. I try to, because you try to work hard. You try to work hard, and adding to that on my surreal like worst positive moment was when I DJ'd in Vegas, and it was like Caesar's Palace, and this was an event for Elton John, and I had like, my thing was to play music during like slow periods, like when there was silence.
Yeah.
And my thing was I had to make sure that when the intro happens, I had to play a specific song. It was called Philadelphia Freedom from Elton John, because he's gonna come out and he's gonna wave, and that's his song. That's the song he wants to come out to. And I'm like, perfect, got it. Did my prep. I'm like, I got this song. I'm ready, and I'm ready for it. I'm scared and nervous because it's in Vegas. It's for Elton John. It's in the middle. It's outside on the strip and next to Caesar's Palace. And I'm like, my job is to play this one track and not mess up. And mind you,
I know where this is going.
Mind you, so Joe Cipriano's down on the main stage. I'm up top, like I'm DJing. And he's down there, so we can't really communicate. So I'm communicating with the walkie-talkie. I have a headset, I have my earphones, and I have like a phone. So I'm like, everybody's chiming in. Yeah, everything is like, all these bells and whistles are going off, and I'm just like, I'm focused. I gotta play the song. So I have the track ready, and I'm getting ready to play it. And I'm like, okay, Danny, you ready on that song? I'm like, yeah, I got it queued up. All right, Danny, he's gonna come out in 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and then I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I have it turned up, and then I press the button, and nothing happens. It's like, and Joe is talking. He's like, and now introducing Elton John and Maria Sharapova. And I'm like, and nothing's I'm like, and I was so close to grabbing a mic, like a walkie-talkie. I'm like, I gotta get this, like, I messed up. I like abort, abort, abort. Abort. I'm like, I messed this up. Like, oh my, they're never gonna hire me again. This is, it's such a huge moment for me, and everybody else. Like, and I'm gonna blow it. Like, this is a huge moment. I'm gonna blow it, and then 5 seconds passed by. Luckily, Joe was talking for a little bit, so it was like he had the energy to carry it, and then I look and I try to. I'm like, please, just please, and I push play.
You didn't link up that song to be live. Like you could press play, but that song isn't live onto the feed, or it's not feeding into the speakers or something.
So no, what happened is that I was having a problem with when we do sound check, when my computer would overheat. So it overheated and it was in the middle of, like I said, in Vegas, in the hottest day of the freaking year. And it would overheat, so everything would freeze. And I'm like, oh my God, this happened. It's nighttime. I didn't think it would happen. And
it was still warm?
It was still warm, but what happened is I pushed play, and all of a sudden you hear the dun 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 dun, and it was like perfect timing. Dun 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 dun, and it's a song. And it just happened to work out, and I was like, I was so nervous, and my nerves were kicking in like crazy, that I just, out of everything, I just didn't push the button right. Like, it was just, I misplay. Like, I was like this. Like, how did I mess that up? How did I mess that? I could have pushed play. So for those of you saying that DJs push play, yes, we just push play, but I missed it somehow, and I didn't. And it was, I mean, it turned out to be an incredible
night. One job, Danny.
I had one job. I couldn't push play.
One job.
And I was so scared, but I'm like, but it worked out. It worked out in the end, and it led me to other, amazing people, first of all, and amazing events. But it was just. How did
Aviators begin?
Aviators, they've been
as in, how did your relationship with Aviators begin?
So, it's because I do multiple kind of events. The reason I like to do multiple events, whether it's kid events, sporting events, weddings, because I do that for a reason, because I don't want to get bored. Like, I don't want to just do club events and kind of get stale. You know what I mean? Like, if you do the same thing over and over again, it's gonna become boring. I didn't want that, so I'm like. I started branching myself out on all these different events because I loved it. I love doing the kid events because they're so happy to be dancing,
Right.
And they're not, at a certain age, they don't think it's uncool to not dance. So like at a 4th and 5th grade or whatever and under, they're just having a good time. And that's what happened. I DJ'd, they're like 4th graders, and I DJ'd like a birthday party. Nice. And it was at one of my Ranch Santa Fe clients, and it happened to be, at the time, he was the GM of the Aviators. And I remember this because I was the kids were playing soccer, and I'm like, I can't just play music. So I got my headset on.
Oh, so you're playing soccer and you're a DJ?
And I was announcing. So I was like,
nice.
I had music, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Timothy with the ball, and I was just announcing and commentating as I'm playing soccer with these kids. The kids are having a blast because they feel like it's, I'm putting attention
like a
on.
real.
Yeah, it's like a game.
Oh, yeah.
A match, and then the GM at the time saw that. It's like, hey, do you play tennis? I'm like, no, I don't play tennis. He's like, I'm gonna call you. He's like, I'm gonna call you in a couple weeks. I'm like, okay. I didn't think anything about it.
Did you have to learn tennis?
I didn't have to, but I learned it because I fell in love with them. I'm like, oh, this is great. I really wanted to be able to follow it and know
yeah. Because it's like just to be well rounded on the whole thing.
Well,
you know what's going on. You're like, oh, he hit the green thing.
Yeah. Well, even
that fly swatter.
Yeah, he hit that fly swatter somehow. For real. Even yesterday, I did an event for the Padres opening day Padres.
Yeah.
And I know.
Oh, you know what? I did see something.
What'd you see? Oh yeah.
I saw you on the thing, and you were like, you're doing the thing on the thing, and the thing was the thing.
The thing on the thing.
No, I saw you said like opening day, and then you took a picture with like 8 people, 10 people, or something.
So that was the thing they had over there, and it was
Stalker.
ASMR. But for that, like, you got to, if you know the sport, if you know soccer, if you know football, if you know baseball, you can kind of use your skill sets to kind of intertwine in that. So for tennis, I had no idea. I didn't know like when I should play music. I need to know when they get a point or when the serve is, because that's when I can best utilize my skill set.
Yeah, when those dips in the tempo
and
things.
The tempo, because there's certain rules that they have. I mean, it's a different way. Like World Team Tennis is totally different from regular tennis, but they allow people to be loud, and I just had to figure out this, the name of the game so I can play the songs at the right time and know the players and all that stuff. So you do learn. I fell in love with them. Like, this is great. Like, this is amazing. And of course, you see all the top 100 people in the world of tennis people, and you follow them. You're like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing. But but yeah, I mean, that's it. You know, doing those sports, and that's how I got that's how I got into the aviators, is doing a kids event led me to somebody saying, hey, I'm gonna call you in 3 weeks. I didn't hear from him in 3 weeks. I hear from him like 2 months later. He's like, hey, Danny, remember that I was talking to you about? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, let's have a meeting. Went to the meeting. At that point, I didn't know how to sell myself. Didn't know how to sell myself, sell my body. I didn't.
That's a whole other episode.
Hey,
that's a whole other 2 hours.
Check out my OnlyFans. I didn't know how to price myself out, and then.
Well, yeah, if you're doing $5 a month on OnlyFans, come on, boy. You charge a little more. Come on now.
How do I do this? How do I
$4.99 a month.
That's right.
If you go double, you get to make requests.
To make requests, whatever you want.
Live stream,
ASMR.
Slow motion.
But that's how it is, man. That's how the grind is. You just.
That's crazy, dude. You know what? Like, you could have turned that down and be like, I'm too good for a kid event. You know, like some people be doing like, I just want to do clubs and maybe corporate events or something. I want to already be there. And look, like you taking every opportunity maximizes your percentage of success. You know,
you do it. Yeah.
And so that like that whole luck meets preparation meets opportunity, all that. I don't know the quote. I messed it up, but you guys know the gist.
Yeah.
You get the gist. You know, you understand it. Is
you take
pause and play.
Oh yeah.
I'm supposed to get I'm planning on updating.
How long's the last one?
Some of my gear. So the camera itself records like 30 minutes at a time.
Oh, gotcha.
29 minutes and change.
Gotcha.
Or 20 minutes and 59 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, it's literally like right at that 30 mark, but just a second before.
Gotcha.
And then I think if I update the monitor, the external monitor, that you actually record via the monitor, not the camera.
Gotcha.
And so the monitor, I can adjust all the highlights. I can adjust all the color and everything. I can do that right away.
That's pretty sick.
On the monitor, and then the monitor records for I think like an infinite amount of time. So then your camera is just intaking it with the lens, and the camera's like the engine.
Yeah.
But what's actually doing the work is all on the screen.
Dang.
And that's what's actually recording. So you put a memory card in the screen, and that actually records everything.
Yeah.
And then the camera isn't recording anything, so the camera doesn't have a limit at that point. The monitor has the limit at that point.
Got you.
So I'm just streaming it through.
Yeah.
You know. Exactly.
I threw it like that. Oh, I meant to ask you. Like, so you said like 4 years ago, like you said you got creative, like you were doing something before, and then all of a sudden something clicked. Like what clicked?
It wasn't like, I'm not gonna say I wasn't committed, because I obviously like, you know, like I threw a chunk of change into like buying a little bit of camera gear.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a lot. It was just like a camera, a microphone, a lens. What else did I get? Maybe like a battery or two.
Nice.
And I think that was it. And then from there, I was like, oh, you know what? And I got my hands on some cheap lights from a buddy of mine who used to do photography. And I'm like, oh, cool. And they were like already $100. Like, they were super cheap. And then he sold it to me for even cheaper. And he's like, I'll give it to you for like chump change, you know?
Wow, yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool. So I went and I grabbed it. And then I got all set up. And then I was like starting to do little things, doing little videos, little vlogs. I mean, right now, like, vlogging is pretty much dead right now.
Yeah, it is dead, but it's fun. Yeah.
But it's, no, it's fun. I think right now it's more of like a tutorial-ish thing. Like, you really need to have a focus of what you're going to do, rather than just like, here's my day, like that's kind of done. Mm-hmm. But not to say that it wouldn't come back at some point, just like everything else.
You're right, it always evolves. Like,
it's just like,
podcast.
80s, back 80s.
Yeah.
Fanny packs and Champion and
right?
non-fitting short, like,
Timberlands.
what do they call them, like high water pants or whatever, where they're like pants. They're not even fitted, but they're
Parachute
still fitting
pants,
like they look like, there you go. And so like all that stuff,
yeah, that's what I mean.
And so anyways, I would do like videos like that, and then I attempted to do stuff, and then I was learning how to edit. I actually did my first edited video. It was with my son when he was born.
No way.
So my son was like, literally, I did the video. I was editing one of my first videos on like a pirated program I got on Adobe, like Premiere or whatever. I put it on my laptop that could not do anything for video. Like it wasn't meant. It did not have. Okay, a computer needs to have the specs to be able to perform with the software, right? For you guys to know, if not all computer, like, you can't have a Ford Focus try to perform like a Chevy 250, like
Yeah.
a Chevy Silverado,
Yeah.
1500, 2500,
Mhm.
So the type of work that it needs to do is like heavy duty stuff. So your computer needs to be ready to go, needs to have a high RAM, good memory and stuff like that so that it can adapt. It can work appropriately and it can be compatible with the software. So I was doing like video editing and it would have to like buffer and render and it would take some time. I do like a little bit of an edit and I'm like, I gotta wait. And I literally did that while I was lacking sleep with the baby because
That's
I
right.
had my
dude.
baby, right? I had
That's
him.
a lot.
I had him for sorry. I had him for got a little warm.
Bow,
Bow, bow.
bow.
So I had it for what I was up all night, so I had been doing all that through the middle of the night, staying up. I was paranoid. I thought the baby was gonna cry. I didn't want him to choke. Like
Yeah,
I was the first time
scary.
dad, so
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's choking, or oh, he needs to be,
Suffocating that.
here, I'll hold you.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't fall asleep with the baby in your arms in the room. And I was like, that's like the best way, And they're like, don't. And so
That's
I'm
my
like,
baby.
I'm like, I would never drop him, Like I was so
Yeah.
paranoid that the moment he shifted a centimeter or if his hair just like moved a little bit, I'd be like, what?
Yeah,
Like no, I was so
Yeah.
paranoid. So lacking sleep and everything.
For
But I
sure,
was
man.
like, I was like obsessed with the video editing that I was like, I put him in the bed and I would just be there and I'd be like,
Yeah.
and then she had just had, she was trying to give birth and it didn't work out. She had
Yeah.
she went through 24 hours of attempting to give birth, couldn't, and had a C-section because
Wow.
her her
Yeah.
body wasn't acclimating to be able to do the whole thing. So then they had to do the whole C-section, So I was there, and through those 24 hours, I was like, all right. And they had like a little side bed thing, and I'm like, cool. So I was attempting to do a video. The video was literally just a 1 minute video, so I
Really?
can fit it on Instagram, and it was like a weird little like I don't know. Maybe I'll try to throw it
Yeah,
on. It was
throw
like
it in.
it was like my very first video, pretty much my
Throw the
first
clip.
video edit,
Throw the clip right now.
and yeah, and cue the video, and so. I busted the video out, and then it was just like me, like the baby's crying, and blah blah. Boom! I throw the clothes on him, and somehow he's dressed, and it looks
Yeah.
kind of cool. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, this is awesome!" And I shot like a little video on my camera. I
Yeah.
think I don't even think I had my camera yet. I was waiting for
You
it to
had old school
come,
ones,
so I
or-
had my phone.
Oh, your
And
phone.
and then it was one of my old phones. It was like a Note 6 or like a
going
Samsung
back, yeah.
S6 or something like
Yeah.
that, 7. And I was like,
yeah, doing that cinematic.
and I was like, and I was like trying to do the flutter thing, and I was like, boom, and I was going along, trying to like go alongside him and stuff, and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, it looks so cool.
Yeah.
And to the music, it's like, and I was like, like that's how the
going
cuts look.
music. Yeah, yeah.
And then I was like, damn, this is it. Like
Yeah,
this,
it's the
feels
bomb.
good. And
Yeah.
when I felt that like one of the little cuts kind of went with the music, which I didn't mean. I did mean to do it, but I just wasn't good at it because
Yeah.
I couldn't read the sound waves properly. It's like
It just happened.
you
to
would
be.
think it's easy to do. I'm not saying it's hard what I do. It's just
It's
like everything
pretty-
else. It's practice. You need practice,
Yeah,
right?
practice, but it is difficult. I mean,
But
yeah.
like just to match up,
Yeah.
like a spike in the song, which is like a high pitch or some type of
Yeah.
a high frequency note in the music, is where you want to make a cut because that's like a significant pop
Yeah.
or a significant high pitch to
For
like
sure.
catch your attention or something, right? So it goes da 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 doosh, and then like boom, it hits that high pitch, and I make the screen change,
Yeah.
and then I did that like several times, and I was like, this is it, and I felt a
badass with it.
high. I felt
Yeah.
like a high, like I felt it. It's crazy because I'm thinking about it, so I felt it here, like
Yeah.
I felt it in my neck. I felt
Yeah.
a real like a chemical change,
For
and it
sure.
was like it wasn't. I would say it's something similar to adrenaline, or it was. I lie. It's endorphins, So I
Yeah.
felt that high, and I was like, I immediately knew that I wanted to keep doing that because. Number one, it was like, wow, this is my son, But then
Yeah.
at the same time, like, I'm making a video. It looks so cool.
Yeah.
And then just, I don't know, man. I could keep talking about that same moment, but it was just
That's
like,
a huge moment.
it
dude.
just like hit and it clicked, and like I watched it for. Bro, I
Over and
literally,
over again, right?
I was like obsessed with myself. I
Yeah.
was watching it for days. I mean, I wasn't even in the video, just the
pretty
baby was.
good. I'm good at
Yeah, I
this.
was like,
Yeah.
look at the hand movement and it went like this, and I'm like, that's me. And then now I look back and I go, man, that's such a lame video.
yeah.
I mean, it was great because it was my son, but like the cuts and the stuff, I'm
Where'd
like, it's not smooth,
Where'd you post it? Like, where'd you?
Instagram. I just
Okay.
put it on Instagram. I
Yeah.
did put it on YouTube actually, so it's there. It's just a 1 minute video of my
Okay.
son, and it was like a stock footage photo of a
Yeah.
crib that was not even my crib,
Yeah.
But I did it because That's just, I was like, oh, it looks good. So I went Jovan's,
Yeah.
first
For sure.
something, whatever, or just Jovan, Mohorovic, which is his whole name.
I'm curious if you do this. So, because when you're editing, obviously you watch the video over and over again, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I do. If I edit a video, like I'm watching over and I can keep on watching it because I'm like, oh my god, I love what I did there. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did that too. But when I post it, I do the same thing. If somebody likes it or somebody comments, I'm like, let me watch it again. Okay, cool. And then I go, and then I get another like on it. I'm like, I'm gonna watch it.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing.
We watch it again.
I was like, wait, why did they like it? And I'm like, oh, wait, was it worth? And then you kind of go back and then you're like, I probably could have done that better. Okay, you can always do better, which is a good thing
For
because
sure, you're always striving for something.
because I feel like everything in this world is like if you're not going up, you're going down. Like very few things stay stagnant. The only
Yeah.
thing is like change. It's
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
constant, right? And I feel like it's true amongst many things. And I think of it too about being hungry too. Like if you don't stay hungry, if you don't keep advancing, you're pretty much losing because other people are also advancing.
Yeah.
So you're
moving
not
past
just
you.
plateauing. You're staying below. And so competition makes innovation.
Oh,
Innovation
for
brings
sure.
a lot of things. It makes a lot of things intuitive. Even programs like when I compare Final Cut Pro to Adobe Premiere,
Yeah.
it's like Final Cut Pro is more intuitive. I do one thing and it does 3 features of Adobe Premiere. Like that's what I find like great
Yeah.
technology. But the sucky part is Adobe Premiere is all over the place and in every computer. And if I were to go work for a company, that's what they have.
Yeah.
And they don't have Mac programs
Yeah,
or
I
whatever.
know, and I love Mac
And then
programs.
I get Final Cut Pro, and I'm like, yeah, like this is what they were picking. I go, this is legit. Also, I don't have to pay month to month for it. I
Yeah.
just buy it once, and that's it.
One time fee.
And so I'm like, man, that sucks. I go, it's so advanced, it's so great, but it's so advanced, it's not on everything because it's too expensive to be giving every company a Mac or updating everything to a Mac, and then to have a Final Cut Pro, it just doesn't work out that
Yeah,
way.
there's no way.
So, yeah, so I pretty much just edited that video,
Fell in love
got
with
into
it.
that, fell in love with it. When my camera came in, I was like, what am I going to do next? I started doing little vlogs. It took me forever. I used to spend on videos like 36 hours, not just like I did
Damn.
it in 3 days.
Yeah.
No, which 36 hours is a day and a half. I spent man hours, like actual applied hours. Like I knew I spent 6 hours one day.
Yeah.
I spent another 4 hours another
in the
day,
zone,
2
dude.
hours another day. And I was like, it's taking me so long to
Yeah.
edit this video. And slowly I started
Yeah.
cutting it down, 24 hours,
Uh-huh.
16 hours. Now, I think I've cut it down from the 36 hours. I've probably cut it down to like, a good maybe, I don't know, like maybe close to a quarter of what that was. Like
Nice.
anywhere between 4 to 8 hours. It just
Yes.
depends on what I'm trying to put in it,
'Cause you got your
But it
tri-
takes
your
some
tricks.
time,
Yeah, it does
Which
take-
is a thing that some people don't understand, that when you charge for video, you don't just charge for the time you're there.
Yeah.
You charge for the time you're. What they don't see, the behind closed doors
sure.
things, Because if I'm shooting for 4 hours, minimum I gotta be editing for double that time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because that's so much footage.
Yeah, and some people
know.
don't know. They're like, oh my, like if even if you put the edit out there, they're like, can you change it? You're like, like come on, man, I just spent so much time. Like it takes a long time to edit, and
Yeah,
they don't understand that process.
Yeah, which is something like that I try to also anticipate that if there's going to be changes, then I anticipate, which is why you render your stuff. You leave it
For
all
sure.
ready to go, all
Yeah.
saved up, ready to go. You leave it there. You export, you do your thing, and then it's like, they're probably going to want like these little things. And you kind of anticipate things that you kind of went on a whim and you're
Yeah.
like, I'm going to do it this way. And then they're like, I wasn't really digging that little
Yeah.
flare you did. And you're like, okay, Mrs. Parker, I'm going to change it up for you. Don't
Change
worry.
it real quick.
I'll tell you. You want this? That's what you want? And they're like, yeah. And I go, you got no flavor.
It's like the vision. This is the vision I
Yeah.
had.
You got flavor. You got no seasoning.
You got no seasoning. You're gonna like
you,
this one,
you
right?
plain Jane.
Yeah, no.
It tastes like stale bread.
Yeah, it tastes like- One time I did that too because I fell in love with my project. I'm like, it was for a client, and I sent it once. Like, hey, can you change this? I'm like, all right, let me change this. All right, cool. And then I changed it once, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna delete. I'm gonna say I deleted all the raw footage. It's like it's done. So I sent it out to them, and they're like, oh, can you change this? I'm like, you know what? I had to delete the raw footage because I had another project come in, and so I deleted it, knowing that that the last edit you had was gonna be the final one. I'm so sorry, but I already had the project. It's like, okay, and they of course they had to accept it, and they took it. And it was good. It was because it come from a creative mind, like your vision. I mean, they typically like to change like minor things.
Yeah.
I don't know if they maybe to say they had an input on it, but for the most part, like you are, you're the artist.
Yeah.
You have your own vision of what you're trying to do here, and know how to edit pieces. And that's why one time I'm like, I'm just gonna say I deleted it and just like put it out there and just make them take it, because it has to be good. They just want to make some little input, but and and it worked. I don't recommend that, but it worked. But
I wonder who that was.
yeah, no. Don't
What if
tell
they're
me.
listening in now?
Yeah, maybe I know.
They're like, I know that guy. I knew damn well he was lying.
Damn well, I had to go to the other project, dude.
Maria,
Maria.
I knew he was lying.
There was one time that because I used to do a lot of video production, but I wasn't. I just like to be creative. I didn't have the equipment. I didn't have the how-to. I didn't have the knowledge of what I was doing, how to even render, how to.
But you threw yourself in there enough to be able to make something out of it.
Yeah, I would.
good.
I mean, I got hired by people because they saw what the finished product. But I'm like, I like to give myself limited supplies, so then I can see that I'm like, oh, I did it with nothing. Like I was able to create this with nothing. So there's like no expectations, I guess. Because if I had everything, then I have to prove that I'm capable.
That you're it.
I'm it. But there was one time where I had an event, or I had a potential client, and I said, oh yeah, like they saw my products and they're like, hey, so we want you to do this. We want you to do like a commercial, like a 3-minute commercial. I'm like, and they said like, yeah, we want these cameras. Like, and in my head, I'm like, it doesn't seem fun. I'm gonna just charge buku bucks. I'm gonna charge a buku amount of money, and hopefully they say no. And I'm like, all right, like let me email you later. And I emailed them that day. I'm like, okay, I forgot what I charged. It was something crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be this much, and I can get you.
He was like $155.
$155. It was
going back to that.
Going back. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous. Because I threw it out because I didn't want to get the gig.
Yeah.
And then they go like, okay, yeah, we got you. When can you have that product done?
Oh shit.
I'm like, and that was the first, because as an adult, man.
This is a quick. We took a quick break. Apparently, took a quick little break. To adjust little technical difficulties. Got that all set up. And we have Mr.
What's up?
DJ Danny Castillo. Or wait, is it DJ Danny from 35 Productions?
DJ Danny, 35 Productions. What up? How you doing?
You guys need to hear this podcast because like he is the man with that voice, dude. He's got the magic voice.
What kind of Cheetos is this right here? All right.
Oh, that's a cheese crunch, bro. I know that.
You got it. You
got
got it. You got it right.
Yeah, boy.
That's correct.
I got a free ticket to Saquon. Oh, never mind. It's free. Oh, you mean I won't get kicked out again?
Yeah, don't get kicked out. Exclusive.
Don't watch this Saquon.
On the next podcast.
Don't look at my face. Too late. They're like, oh, it's okay. We learned about your dad headbutting people and you talking about crunchy tacos or crunchy Cheetos and Tiny McKenna. The flood of the Tiny McKenna. You guys need to check out the little flood of the Tiny McKenna.
Yeah, check that out.
Here on the podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it. We're doing a little live here so you guys can check it out. We're taking a little break. Yeah. Which you guys will hear, and you guys will probably be like, what is going on? I got my little mini tripod since I got my little setup here with my material and stuff. We got a little display right there. And, yeah, you know what? Just having a good time. Set up my boy here. Got our little setup here, our little lights.
The short shorts.
Everything ready to go. And what's up? And, yeah, so this is Mircko Talks. This is the podcast. And me and the man are going to keep going.
Let's do it.
And our little break is over. So hope you guys like this little live. Hope you guys check it out. Enjoy it. See what's going on. And it's all over. It's on Google. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. Check it out on YouTube. You can either watch it or you can listen to it. Throw on the headphones in. Listen to our little ASMR hot Cheeto and cheese Cheeto crunching. You'll probably notice the difference. Maybe you'll hear him throw, kind of get crazy and throwing a pistachio in there. Kind of hear that crunch and be like, oh, subtle crunch. That's a pistachio. The crunch. So great guy over here. I hope you guys chime in, check it out. You guys will see my link tree is in my bio, as you can see everything from my YouTube and my podcast and everything like that. And yeah, so I'm gonna get back to it. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys later on the live, and we're going to continue here on the podcast. How do I exit? Oh, are you sure I want to end your live video? Yes. I don't really
He didn't
I
record.
don't really know how to do this.
It didn't record
This stuff.
anything.
Oh, did it? I'm posting it to IG. Okay, wait, okay. Real quick podcast.
Hashtag
DJ Danny.
Hashtag unfiltered. What is that? No filter.
Wait,
Hashtag
35
no
Alive.
filter.
Wait, 35 Alive Productions.
Oh, 35 Alive.
35 Alive Productions.
Nice.
Podcast vid. Okay, guys. Sorry for the interruptions. Let's just put it out there. Let's go. So we are back. So we were talking about Danny rudely texting on a podcast.
Hello, Mom.
Hey.
I love you, Mama.
No, I did watch. I did put the clothes in the in the dryer.
I did put them in there. Mom, Hot Pockets.
I love Totinos.
Oh, Totinos are so
It's
good.
all quiet.
Oh.
It's all quiet. You know, they're like, "Shh, get them out. She's like, yeah. He's like, oh my gosh, I love Totino. Shut up. My parents are gonna wake up.
Those are so good.
Those are
Totinos.
some good ones.
Put it in the deep fryer.
Oh, dude, yeah. I deep fry. I mean, yeah, I would deep fry them too, but I just throw them in the oven.
Oh, yeah.
You deep fry them?
I would
Do they
like
get crunchier?
Wait, I don't have that many deep fryer, whatever that is. The air fryer.
Oh, air fryer.
Air
okay.
fryer. Oh
That can
my
be better,
gosh.
yeah.
Yes.
I just throw them in the oven.
I mean, just as good.
Yeah, I actually do everything in the oven, pretty
it's so
much.
good.
I mean, I don't bake, but I use the oven as much as a baker would, because I reheat. I don't like reheating my stuff on the microwave.
Oh yeah.
A microwave dehydrates food, so like anything that you put in there, either it's gonna overcook it. So like if you have steaks or something or meats, I really like a rare steak, but I don't mind it if it turns into medium rare. So then by doing a rare steak, I eat it great because a fresh steak tastes bomb.
Oh yeah.
Boom, you eat
So
it.
good.
You know you gotta have some fat on there. Like don't tell me you need like a lean steak. I don't know. I don't know where we're at here with the steak things, but you need a little bit of fat for that flavor. Like that's just culinary.
Tomahawk steak, Bill and Bourbon. So
Dude, I
good.
haven't tried that yet.
Oh
I've been
my
wanting
God.
to try the tomahawk, but I go $75 a pound. What are you talking about?
How much is it for one rib?
You can lick the bone if you like.
That's it. Put it in my hand.
$30 a pound. Damn.
It's expensive, but it's so good.
Yeah, dude.
It's so good, man.
I feel like I'd keep the bone in my pocket like a charm, you know? I mean, like
I'm
I
taking
remember
it.
I bought this that one time. Like, yeah, I still got flavor. Dip it in my bone broth. And like I just blessed my I just blessed my pho, you know? I
Oh
just got
my
flavor.
God. For real, it was so funny when I was over. I was at
Oh,
Bill
because
and
you're
Bourbon.
flying in G6s. No wonder,
G6.
bro. Look at your little
No, I know.
tomahawk.
I was over there at Bill and Bourbon. I was getting ready to order. We were there for like Halloween or something, and it's like I looked at my Wells Fargo and they're like, "Your credit has increased." I'm like, "Ooh, I'm getting a fillet tonight." It increased at the right time because I'm like, food for everybody. Everybody gets to eat tonight. It was so good, man.
You're like, no, you're ordering water.
Water.
You can get no lemonade.
we want
Who told you margarita now?
we want water, but that steak real quick. That's it. I
like
got
that
my credit
steak.
increased.
Here, I'll steak for everybody. You're like, hey, all right, you get this half, I get
Yeah.
this half.
Yeah,
You
that's
get this piece, and I get that piece. You're like, you mean we're only one plate? You're
Yeah.
like, I said everybody. I said we share. You know, like we family.
That's
like
what I meant.
A plate for one, two can eat. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
maybe four can eat.
When I say
You,
steak
you
for
know, like
everybody,
that
that's more.
saying. You know,
Yeah.
like if two can eat, three can eat. You know, what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that's like a thing in like with my parents too. You know, like we didn't have too much, and then it'd be like a thing like no, like you can come over, or like when people surprisingly would have to stay over and like we didn't have much, you know, like my parents were on food stamps, right? I guess technically we were on food stamps, you know.
Yeah.
And then it was like, no, don't worry, like if we can eat, you can eat, you know. There's room for one more, there's room for two more, you
Yeah,
know, or
that's
we'll make
true.
it stretch, you know.
That's true.
Add
That's
a little
what we do.
extra rice, or a little extra beans, a little extra grains or something to fill
Yeah.
it all in, and then everybody gets like 3 bites of meat, but you
Yeah.
know, everybody eats, you know, like everybody gets a little something, everybody's full. We make it work.
Was that something that so from your childhood that you remember that was like saving on? I'll give you an example. Mine was milk and water. Like they put water in cereal, and then put like a little drop of milk to make the coloring. And that was like my abuelita. She's like,
no.
that is cereal. Yeah, that's what I did. Like when I was
No.
a child, I had a water cereal, which was delicious, really good. I think it was their version of almond milk, honestly. But that's what I used to do, like to
Almond
save money.
milk,
To
huh?
save money, yeah.
Almonds have no teeth. I don't know.
I don't know how to get that.
So, can you milk me, fucker? Yeah, you can milk anything. It has a nipple.
Can you milk me? I have nipples.
Yeah, fucker. He's like, hey, fucker.
That's a good impression.
That's that face up.
I can't do that. That's good.
Yeah, that's why like the only thing I do that I can do right, you know.
What-
Aside from like being like the China, like even that Trump, like that
That's good. So what's the impression you can do?
The Trump, he has
Trump?
that. Ah, dude, I have to get.
China. I
I
can't
have
do
to
it.
do that. He's like, yes, no. How does that? Dude, you have to give me a little bit. I don't know. I'd
You
have
got
to.
this. You
I
go,
had it, but I don't do it all the
China.
time. Yeah, I know. When she's like, what do you
Huge.
mean? Yeah.
Huge.
Huge,
Yeah.
huge. China, and he does that thing like, He's like, he does that face with his Cheeto crop dust that he has in there.
That's right.
He's like he sneezes and you're and that thing's like
Right.
kind of comes out. Yeah, little Cheeto crumb.
Oh, so that's your. You can do Trump and you can do.
I don't know.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah, and
What's
then everybody
Robert?
can do Arnold Schwarzenegger. Pretty much.
Oh no, get to the chop.
They do that weird little.
That I know. Not everybody can do that. That's good. That is good. Wait,
I
do
don't
it
even
again.
know,
Say it
dude. He's
again.
like, I don't know. We gotta go over here. Pour me my rum and coke. I'm thirsty. Maybe it's the Slavic last name. It's close to Austria. I don't know. They're trying to take my tortillas.
That's good. That was really good. That Arnold, it's
That's
amazing. That's in the books. You got.
That is funny. I never.
Put that in the
that's the
highlights.
first time it's been live.
Dude, that's so
That's
good.
the first time it's gonna go on. Like people say, leave a legacy.
Yeah.
You plant a tree, you write a book, and you have a kid.
Yes. That's
I
right.
feel like the new part is like you make a YouTube video. It's a
that's
thing
so
that can
good.
live forever.
It's forever.
You know?
And you too. That has to live forever. That Arnold. That's your impression to go. That's your go-to impression. For real. I only got one. I got the
Like,
Mickey
she's like,
Mouse.
Oh, yeah.
I got.
Oh yeah.
I go. Oh boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy. that's what I got.
That was no. Oh yeah, I think I do that one. I think I do that one with my kid, but I don't know. I don't want to embarrass myself compared to yours. Yours is good. I'll stick to my to the chopper. He has that weird little like in his face. I feel like when I want to imitate him, I think of Total Recall. Like his
Great
face,
movie.
like when he goes into the Mars air and he's like,
Yes.
and he's like freaking out. That's
His eyeballs
exactly
popping out.
how I feel because I think I close my eyes when I do like the imitation, and I feel like that's what my face is looking like that ugly face that I'm making, even though I'm making other like type of impressions.
It's a good one. That's one to keep. Like there's some people try to do impressions, but that's a keeper, dude. That's like you got to start off conversations like that.
I'm gonna have to maybe I'll sprinkle that in somewhere.
So you always got to come back to Arnold.
You know who I've attempted to imitate. I don't know if I don't think I pull it off, but like I've always liked Obama's voice. He's like, yeah. I'm getting nervous. I'm getting nervous. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead. Tell me. He does. I know it comes out a little better though.
I can hear it. I can hear it.
Speaking on the podcast.
He's very
yeah,
quick.
he's like very like precise. He's a
President
man
Obama.
who showed like a very strong presence as a professional president.
Yeah,
He
for
didn't
sure.
look like he messed around, other than like his political decisions or whatever. You guys, take your political views out the window.
Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
talking about his how would you say, his mannerisms?
Oh, yeah.
And it's just the way he carried himself and his
Good as done.
character. He was a very professional. Yeah,
He was very well spoken, man. That's what I liked about him.
he was eloquent.
Yeah. I like that. I'm like, damn, this guy's great. Yeah.
He was and he was like, he wasn't even born here, right? Or his parents were born somewhere else. His parents are immigrants or something like that, or something like something about his past was like, oh, people were trying to talk crap and be like, oh, he's not really American or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Were they saying that?
Something like that. Yeah, they were giving him all this crap. But I'm like, I mean, he was well spoken. He did his thing, and I'm like, that's
I'm trying to
cool.
think of like, he has some like strong quotes that people think of when they imitate him, and he'll be like, yeah,
President Obama.
yeah, oh yeah, President Obama. Yeah, for sure.
I like your imitation when you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I got nervous.
Got nervous, and no, it's I know that's not. I'm
Get
gonna
to
go
the
back you guys.
chopper.
I'm gonna go back. Yeah, I know. Okay. I'm gonna see if I'll get back to it at some point before the episode ends.
Yes, that's amazing.
I've never done anything that has to do with any type of imitations till today.
That's
so we've
good.
broken that seal.
Yeah, well, you got to keep on doing that, man. Whenever you get a chance to bring in Arnold, you're like, hey, what do you think about Arnold as an actor? He's doing the impression.
No, I was gonna get. I was like, no, they've had enough Chopper. They've had enough Chopper talk. You know, I was really. I think I just recently started doing that Robert De Niro face.
Yeah,
I think I just started it like a year ago.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, that little. I mean, it's not hard. You know, you just cover your teeth and then you squint. You know, like you're like,
I can't do it.
Hey, fucker, you gonna milk me, fucker?
That's good.
I feel like the face totally distorts itself to like a Robert De Niro, and it's like
that's what.
I need a cigar. I always say.
That's it. That's the look. That's the look. If you guys can see his face right now, that's the look. That's Robert.
Oh, they will. They'll see it. This is on YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
Yeah,
that's
record this. This goes on YouTube.
There you go. I like
so, podcast people that are just listening it to strictly as a podcast. Yeah. Sorry, but that could be a good one. You know what? That's gonna go on. That's gonna go on too. We'll shout that. You know, I'll be like Joe Rogan. Shit, what's his name?
Joe Rogan.
No, Jamie. Hey, Jamie. You know.
Put that on there.
Save that one. Okay.
What do you think about DMT?
Please, clip it. Put it on the Instagram. Thank you.
Put it on Instagram right now. Yeah, clip that.
Thank you.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge. No, he's Hey, how does that?
Huge.
I don't know. I'll wait on that one. It'll come later.
I like it.
It just comes out of me later. It'll happen. I don't think I have any other ones. I think that's pretty much
that's good.
Good with those ones.
That's great, man.
Maybe it happens even more. Maybe it depends how many rum and coats one has.
I think that's what it is. Impressions come out. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that'd be great. Imagine tequila. I start doing all the Hispanic ones.
Oh my gosh.
Is that stereotypical?
Oh my god.
It's called patron. It's in Spanish.
Yeah, patron.
Come on, stop getting butthurt, Karens.
Yeah, that's right. Don't get hurt.
I have a buddy of mine who I'm gonna do tomorrow. I've had him on here already. He's he owns his company. He does pipe fitting and stuff. Sprinklers.
Oh, nice.
And he's gonna be on the podcast tomorrow.
That's awesome, dude.
Kind of get a little update on everything on how it's been. It'd be great to link up with him and just really get on this type of vibe, because I see him every day pretty much lately because of since I do hang out with him and stuff and do things and help him out with his little thing going on. But we're gonna do that.
That's cool, man. It's good. I like what you're doing here, man. It's good things, man. Connecting people and just it's a good vibe. Good.
I want this. Yeah, I want this to be a real a lot of people would like to do the niche, and I'm glad. Go ahead, but that's if you're passionate and you actually you seek it. You love to do the research, and that's great. Mine's just a very I'm not being aggressive per se. I want to be aggressive with attempting to get lineups and I'm supposed to have 3 podcasts this weekend, you know, so you and then 2 more tomorrow.
Nice.
And I almost had a 3rd one tomorrow, so it would have been 4, which would have been great. My goal would be to be able to get at least 3 episodes a week.
That's great.
And it's easy to get them out. It's this type of video is not hard to edit, but it's trying to get the professionals. And I also, I have friends and I can have great conversations with them, and unless I feel like I can really have a cool little spark online, on the video, I probably won't throw them on there. I'm being honest and transparent here. Yeah, but I try to get a lot of professionals that either have something that they're. Who was that? Is that my conscience?
This is your conscience.
This is that was on something. What the hell was it on? It was a comedian.
Jamie Foxx, yeah.
Oh,
he lit him up. Oh my, have you seen that? He's like, "This is your conscience. What are you doing?"
It was
here?
a roast, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was a roast.
Felt so
Whose
bad.
roast was it?
It was the roast of Emmett Smith. I remember that. If you watch that clip, that's a classic.
Oh, dude,
Jamie
I've seen
Foxx,
it. I remember that, which is why I was like, I know that's
that guy got roasted. He wasn't supposed to be there, man. They had Jamie Foxx. They had, I forgot who else. Jamie Foxx.
They had Jamie Foxx, and then Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx again.
Jamie Foxx's mama, and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. Shaq. There you go.
Jamie Foxx's daughter, I think, just started a new show that I think they just busted out on Netflix.
Really?
Yeah, I saw a little clip where she was like, "Yeah, Daddy, this and that," and he's like, "Oh yeah, baby, thank you. Yeah, we just started a thing and this and that,
that's great.
And we got a new Netflix series, and they're doing a documentary about her or something." And I guess she's like, "Yeah, we've been trying to pitch it," and I was like, "Oh, cool." But that's
Man.
crazy, you know, like once somebody becomes successful, then the people around them,
Oh, man.
like everybody has a story. You
Yeah.
notice that, like if that one guy becomes successful, then you know he has like that cousin, he has that brother, he has that friend, and then they have that story that you're like, you didn't know that happened, but it
Yeah.
doesn't come to light until somebody made something of themselves
Yeah.
to put themselves in the spotlight where people actually listen, and
For
then
sure.
when people's attention's pointed to that person, they go, hey, you know, you're everyone's looking at me, and I go, hey, you know about this Danny Castillo,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, Danny has a story, you know, Danny has something to
which
offer,
is incredible. And
you know, and so that's also something to look forward to. You know, I'm not preaching, but it's like it's something to look forward to for everybody to know that like you have a story too. You know, you have something to push out, something
sure.
to explode on, something to create that seed is there. You just gotta water it, nurture it,
That's the best
focus
way to
on
explain
it,
it.
work onto it, focus on it. It's an everyday thing, you know, like that hustle's like an everyday thing.
Yeah.
And then something comes out of it. You know?
No,
And
it's true. You never know. That's why you got to treat everybody. First of all, you treat them like the human being. Like you got to respect them. You got to appreciate them. But everybody has their own. Everybody's going through their own stuff. You don't know what they're going through, but they have their seed. Like you said, you plant that seed. You give them that motivation, and that you never know what's going to happen. The guy. I think his name is Michael from. He does Let's Get Ready to Rumble. That guy,
Oh yeah.
So that guy, incredible story. But that guy, he did his thing, but he had to pass on the UFC because HBO said we're not going to pay you if you do the UFC. So he gave it to Bruce Buffer, which is the host, the guy that announces UFC.
It's like they're friends, dude. They have like the
they're
same voice.
Family.
Oh, they are. No one.
Yes.
Dude, they have that voice.
The voice.
That thing is in there.
Family. That's what I'm saying. Like if somebody succeeds, your family succeeds with you. And that's the best part.
Hey, but I'm not gonna lie. Like that voice is like,
Dude,
it's like a similar.
Dude, it is.
It's very similar.
Yeah, it is. But
I was like, are you related to John?
Yeah, you have to be. Yeah.
You know, I see that in your voice. I was like, I'm serious. Dude. You called me on the phone, bro, and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? And you're like, yeah, what's up? We're on. You're like, yeah, okay, cool. And I was like, are you doing a show now? Like, are you announcing to me right now? You're like, hey, Mircko, hey, yeah, I'll be there right now. And okay, 6:30 p.m. Okay, cool. Oh, sounds good. And this and that. And then I was like, is this a recording? Hello? Are you on Logic Pro? Are you editing this now? Did John teach you this? Can you take me under your wing, please? Thank you. And I was like,
when am I supposed to be there tonight? 6:30 on After the Simpsons.
dude, that's exactly when this podcast is going to be posted after the Simpsons. Just for the sake of this. You're reading the room.
Reading the room.
You're calling the future shots. It's like Simpsons all over again. Nostradamus.
Yeah,
Dude, those guys are crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Simpsons are calling stuff like Trump's over here president. And
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Right? They called like Trump being president. And he was president. Like this was, I think, even like way before, like back in like
They
2000.
called that. So they said
Amongst other things, even like the bees, the hornets, and
Oh
all that
my
stuff that they
God.
were saying.
Murder
you know,
bees.
was
Murder
like,
bees. Remember the murder bees? So they said
nuts.
Simpsons had called so much things. So people say that's the Simpsons creator, Matt Groening, or whatever. He's from the future.
Created who?
So Matt Groening, the one that.
I think they created macaroni. I was like,
Crazy macaroni. That's
Are
what I
they
meant to say.
Italian?
Crazy macaroni out there. Macaroni. Macaroni. It doesn't have macaroni. I can't say that name anymore.
cheesy
Macaroni.
Cheesy macaroni.
Macaroni. God, Mircko, you made me say macaroni now.
Imagine when he says something and like, you're being cheesy macaroni. And they're like, what'd you call me? Is that an insult? Cheesy macaroni? I'm hungry now. Let's go.
Cheesy macaroni. We're about to eat some macaroni.
Cheesy macaroni.
He's from the future. That he's wrote all these Simpsons like episodes. He's predicted so many things. Murder Hornets, Donald Trump. There's a couple of things that he's predicted. That's on the video. It's crazy. Dude,
that
I'm
guy
like,
is.
He's from the future. I'm like, what?
But it's like, okay, let's just say, hypothetically
Okay.
speaking, he is from the future, right?
Okay.
Which it could happen, right? He could,
Yeah.
it's like a dimension, like a multi-dimension thing.
Maybe.
They say there's like multi-dimensions. You believe in that? You don't? I am not completely. I'm
Sold
not.
on it, yeah.
How would you say? No. How would you say? I'm not jaded to
Okay.
the idea that could be possible,
Yeah.
but I'm also not like full on like, yeah, there is, it could be a multi-dimension, like Insidious, and then
Oh,
you
God.
see the alien dude, or the demon or whatever.
We'll get back to that.
And well, this is gonna be a 3-part series,
Be a segment.
a Netflix documentary.
Well, I'm coming back.
3-part series.
Coming back in action.
And but I mean, like, I feel like there's got to be something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, you know, whether it has to do with multi dimensions, whether it has to do with like UFOs or aliens. Like we can't be the only people, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not the most practicing religious person, but I do pay attention to what happens in the Bible, and I you know, I just kind of use it as a guideline and whatnot, and not to get too crazy religious or anything, but you know, they even say in there that there is some kind of like extraterrestrial like stuff, you know, going on.
Yeah,
I'm not even, you know, like I said, I'm not even fully like educated on it to be a guy that represents what happens in the Bible, but you know, I read things, I see things, you know, and like there's multiple stuff. I saw the thing on the Joe Rogan with the guy with the Jim Fravor. Something Fravor, Jim Fravor, and he was a pilot, and like he saw this like tic tac thing go from like, you know, 20,000 feet down to like 1 foot and like stop, no exhaust fumes, no propellers, nothing, and it would just like zip zap, and then all of a sudden he's like, you're not gonna believe it, you know, 60 seconds later, 20 seconds later, it's 60 miles away, and you're like, what the hell? Nothing can travel that fast, you know, that we know of, that we're informed of or can create. And I'm like, dude, that's nuts.
It's nuts.
And so there's something out there. Something's going on.
Well, let's end on this right here. So what have you ever had like a experience like that? Ghost, alien? Have you ever like, or one of your friends, family, like has that ever happened to you? Anything? Or have you ever seen like something weird, like the Bigfoot? I don't know. Welcome to Ghost Stories. He's about to tell his ghost story right now. Robert De Niro is about to
get here out of this.
What is it, Sabi? Have you had like a paranormal activity, anything like that? Ever? I'll tell you mine.
There's a concept of dreams that sometimes I don't understand.
Okay.
I feel that are kind of interdimensional.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I could ever say, because I've had some gnarly stuff that I know, dude, one of those have had to be real. Something happened, like sleep, like this sleep paralysis stuff is one thing, but it was like,
so you've done that sleep paralysis.
Scary.
Dude, scary as shit.
Dude, I did that thing after, like I would do it like
all the time.
All the time. Like it was like it happened. It wouldn't even happen after a scary movie. I would just, I don't know. And it happened a lot more when I was a kid, but I've always been like a paranoid soul.
Yeah.
Which in a sense helps out for being a father, because then it's like, oh, what? My kid? Like, what?
What,
you know? Well, like, you know, like other than that, like I've always kind of had like a little bit of a paranoia thing when I was little, because I used to be like, my sister used to try to like trick me to, there was a scary monster under the bed so I could stay, because she liked to cuddle with me and like hang out and like, no, stop, like, you know, blah, blah. And I would just like lay there, and she's like, no, don't leave, you know. And then I was like, no, I'm gonna go. She's like, oh, that boogeyman's gonna get you. And I was like, I jumped right back in, you know.
I'm scared.
And I used to the way the house used to be set up when I was younger, the living room was in the middle, and my parents, the master bedroom was on one end, and then all the other bedrooms and everything was on the other end. So I would yell, I'm like, Mom, I can't get out of bed. My sister will let me out. And she's like, you better be quiet or I'm going to smack the both of you. And I'm like, come on, help me. Stay in the bed. And I'm like, I got a force cuddle.
She was probably so scared. There's probably something like she saw something that scared her to death.
No, she just said it. Oh. No, she was older. She was old.
Gotcha.
My sister was, all my siblings are either 12 years and older than me. Because my parents were.
You were the baby.
Yeah, I was the baby. Like I literally grew up like an only child. I was so young, and they were so much older. I grew up as an only child. When I was 10, my sister moved out of the house, and she was the closest sibling.
You're the baby, dude. Yeah,
baby.
It's like their baby.
And only child.
It's like their
Bro, I used to grab old school tube TV antennas, and I used to have them in the back of my shirts like they were katanas, bro. And I'd go out and I'd be like, and I used to do Home Alone traps on my parents, and I used to try to put marbles under the welcome home footpad thing, and I'm like, I hope they slept, you know. But it wasn't to hurt them. I just wanted to trick them, you know. I
just worked on a movie
in the kitchen floor. I'd put like soap or oil, and I'm surprised I never broke my dad's back. You know,
you put like an iron up top, like.
Dude, I think I tried to hang. I forgot what I tried to hang to hit my dad, but like it was one of those where like he's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this, and thing would swing by. Like,
oh my god!
And like he didn't get hit, you know, and I was like, dang it.
That's amazing. You know? That's amazing.
He's lucky I didn't shoot him with like a BB gun or something. You know, I pretty much was there.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That's
but incredible. Like I haven't really had an experience. I've always just been.
But you've been
those interdimensional sleep paralysis is like.
I mean that's a. I mean some people see that as a way of getting to that realm. Like you're not. I mean because sleep paralysis, for those of you that don't know, is it you're like your body's your mind's awake, your eyes open up, and then your body's paralyzed because what happens in REM sleep like. You know they don't want you to act out your dreams because when you're dreaming they don't want you to be punching everybody, so you're paralyzed pretty much, and then you can dream. But what happens is that you wake up, your eyes open up, and your body's paralyzed, and it's scary. But you're in. It feels like you're in a different realm. You see like
or like you get in fights. It's like you're
Yeah.
fighting underwater.
You're fighting underwater. I mean, it's crazy.
It's like it's not even water. It's like slime or something. You're just like
Slime.
even slower.
Yeah.
Just like putty or something.
Yeah, it's so the scariest thing because I like you as a child I fell in sleep paralysis, and when you're sleep paralysis, like it does feel like if you ever watch like Stranger Things or
Yeah.
have you watched that show? If you guys watch that out there, it feels like you're just
Nobody watches that.
nobody
show.
watches that show, right? Golly, that show's terrible. But if you ever watch Stranger Things, it feels like you're in the underworld, whatever. Like it just feels it's like you're dreaming, but
that
you're not.
Insidious thing.
Insidious, which is crazy. Which
Don't tell me.
Yeah, as a kid, I would fall.
Don't.
I
You
would
saw that.
fall. I would fall in that sleep.
You're like, let me talk, Mircko. I'm trying to
Mircko,
tell you right now.
Let me tell you what happens. You can see this thing in your freaking window right now tonight.
I'm gonna sleep
He's like, I
in
don't
a
wanna
closet,
go to
standing
sleep.
up
Are you afraid
with
of
my nunchucks.
Oh my gosh, it was. Let me tell you, Mircko. So what happened is that I would, as a kid, I would go into sleep paralysis, and as an adult, I didn't know what it was. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So as an adult, I would fall in sleep paralysis, and then you start to see like different things. Whatever you see, it could be dreams. Like who knows what it is? But for me, like I feel like I'm awake, and I would just see things. Like I would see shadows or whatever, or like people dancing like this.
McKenna. Hi, McKenna.
Like, what is going on? Tanya McKenna, get out. But funny,
Dude, that's a song. Okay, I'll tell you
funny-
after, but that's a song.
Tell me
okay?
the song. Don't forget
I'll
it.
tell you.
Don't
I
forget the
won't
song.
forget it.
Funny thing is that Tanya's involved in this because my scariest moment that happened is that when I fell asleep, I went into sleep paralysis. So I was like this. I couldn't move. I could not move. I opened my eyes and all I saw was like it felt like a shadow with like a hat. He had a hat on, like one of those cowboy hats, black
He had a
shadow.
hat on with the Batman and
He
a
looked
thing
like,
all
he's
this.
like, I'm Batman. Where's Harvey Dent? God, I don't know. Get away from me. But he felt
Who ate the last of the mayo? You're like,
justice.
Dad?
Dad, what's going on here? But it was like a shadow, and it went and it Mircko, like it was scary because it went up and it felt like it was choking me, and so it was like right here. It didn't think anything of that because I fell in sleep paralysis before, but this is a little scarier because I'm like, what the hell? Like I got choked.
You're like, he's going all the
He's
way.
going
Like
all
it's
the way.
not like creeping me out. He's attacking me.
He's
now.
attacking me. So I'm like, I didn't think anything about it. And then like the next day passed and I had lunch with Tanya McKenna. And Tanya and I'm like, and we were just talking, just catching up. And then we talked about, it popped up. She had said it. She had said like, oh my God, I had the weirdest dream. I'm like, what happened? She's like, I couldn't move. And this dark entity with a hat, he was looking for somebody and he came up to me and he choked me. And I got chills up and down my spine. I'm like,
She got the same thing?
She got the same thing. And I'm like, Tanya,
What kind of hat?
Yeah, what kind of hat was it?
No, was it like the same hat? Like she said it was like a cowboy. You said it was a cowboy hat?
Well, she said it was like a hat with Vans and a yellow hat or something like that.
She ain't gonna like me.
She's like,
no, I don't wanna. Shadow band from a shadow band, complete block.
it was like that same thing, like a top hat.
Hit a nice under the.
It was a cow. It was like a cowboy hat, like a dark entity, and it came up to her, and I'm like, "Are you?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, "I had the same person happen to me," and then we started talking. We're like, maybe it was like looking for somebody, because Tanya's she's like a light, like she's really, like a bright light, and I try to be like that too, but I'm like, it's probably looking for something, That's what I felt, and then 2 nights go by, and we both have this same instance where. Now it's like, I swear, Mircko, I'm not lying. It's like evil. It's like, you remember the Insidious with like the corner?
Yeah, I didn't watch the whole movie, but I do remember
Okay.
like glimpses.
So
But I do remember that.
when you're sleep paralysis, you wake, your eyes open up. You don't want to open up your eyes, but you open up because you're like, what the hell's going on? And you try to move, and it's like very scary because you can't move. You open up your eyes, and
It scares me just to think about it.
you for real. And I saw this dark entity in the corner. It's like growing, and all of a sudden it turns to that guy, and then and then the scariest part was that he comes over again, and then it's like, and this is like come from Tanya McKenna too, is that he starts to pull you, into a different direction, not up, not sideways, but he tries to pull you like down somewhere. Like he just tries to pull you, and I was
You
talking
just
to
feel pressure.
yeah, no, like you start to feel like I mean, whatever, because who knows what is going on? Maybe it's like my dream, maybe it's like my mind like working. But it happened to Tanya. That's why I was like, it was so crazy because we told the same story. But he tries to pull you down, and I'm like, and I told Tanya, I'm like, didn't it feel weird that if you did like just like, hey, say what the hell, like let's go,
Yeah.
like you're not because immediately when it was happening to me, I'm like, you're cussing in your head, you're like in your conscience, you're like, F
You're doing
this,
everything to fight it.
fighting it, and I'm like, I'm out, like get me out of here, F this, and then you get loose, and I popped up out of it, and my dog Buster at the time was like there, and he felt the presence because you think the animals can feel the presence, but the dog popped up.
They feel other things.
Dude, they
have
feel
another
crazy.
sense. They have like a 7th sense, not a 6th sense. Like
let
they
me
have
tell
it above.
It was downstairs. Opened up my door, came in, and I was like whatever,
Struggling or
yeah.
whatever.
And it opened up the door, and I started petting. I'm like, what the that was a trip. And I talked to Tanya about it, and she had the same experience, and it was so scary. I'm like, this is. What the hell was that?
She's like, all I had was a goldfish, and that fucker was like,
I got candy.
Bloop. He just sees the face and like, come on,
come over here. There's candy over here. But it was,
like,
it was
he's
so scary.
talking his little, come on, Peach. Like, why don't you like flap a flipper? Like kind of throw some water over here. Like
Flipper helping you out, like splash you in the face.
Danny's dog at least went over there and licked his face. Kind of made it seem like wake up, fool. Like you're over here just
go for like splashing some water. Wake.
Like I just want some food.
Wake your ass up. Oh
yeah, that's.
God. But it was yeah, it is scary. But there's different things that happen. But it's just crazy. I mean, it makes you think. It makes you think like, what is that? Because who knows? Like who knows? Look, we're here talking like who knows what's going on in the universe. Right
well, if it's not to say that it doesn't exist, but like if it's not affecting me now, I'm fortunate that I'm not like that paranoid. That like if it's not affecting me now, I'm not freaking out. Because
yeah.
I mean, I guess it could, but like I've heard, like if you let your mind get taken over, like it's just like pretty much over.
For sure, yeah.
So,
you
like kind of like that. Like you dictate the way your rhythm or like how positive things are gonna be or how optimistic. The half full, half empty kind of thing. Like really dictates like the way that you move.
For sure.
So the half full thing is like kind of the way I try to go.
It's so true, man. Because because you think outside the box and you think it's the balance, man. It's like the yin and yang. It's positive, negative. There's a good, there's a evil, whatever it is. But you just got to find your perfect balance and and go with it. But it's always I always get so curious of like when people have this outrageous thought in their head. I'm like, you're probably freaking crazy, but it's interesting. It's very interesting, and works your mind, exercises your brain. But
dude, so I had that song.
Oh yeah, what's the song? What's the song?
It would go like Tanya McKenna. Like I felt like I heard it, and isn't there another song that goes with those syllables?
Is it like a Drake? Is it like a rap song or is it like a?
Yeah, it's a rap song.
I think
that Tanya McKenna.
It might be.
I got the Tanya McKenna.
It's either.
Got the Tanya McKenna. And like it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a song out
Tanya
there
McKenna?
that I know that is out there.
It's either.
Then it goes.
It's Kendrick or Childish Gambino. No. I know what you're talking about.
You're the music man, so
listen.
I was hoping like your library, like your ears would just start flipping through that library and been like aisle 7, 42B.
If you know me, I have no idea the lyrics of songs. I don't know the names of songs. I'm like the worst at trying
really?
to.
How do you find this? How do you find songs? Like, cause you gotta know like, all right, this month a lot of these things have been a hit.
Yeah.
Whoop-dee, blue cheese.
Oh,
That's
sure.
why I'm addicted to blue cheese. I've been stuck on that. I've been trying to teach my son that.
Yeah, for sure. So the songs that hit. This like obviously the song, but there's so many because there's so much music out there. You're like you don't have no idea how to search.
Well, you're cycling, all the time.
I mean, when people come up and request a song, like. If they say, "Hey, I need this," I'm like, yeah,
bam. That one just stays.
Yeah, that stays forever. Even if they
slow motion for me was an epic moment.
Slow motion for if they say a song, sometimes I'm like, "Oh shoot, that's right. Like that's a great song. I got to play that song." But you forget because there's so much music like coming in and out of your brain. Like I don't know. But I'm the worst at lyrics. Like I don't know lyrics.
Like, how does the world have enough memory to save all the music that's been going on? It's like I think about it in such a macro that I'm like. We try to like make a library on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And all these videos that get uploaded is like, it's like every, excuse me, that was kind of spicy. not spicy hot, but just spicy enough to
Yeah, you okay?
tickle me a little bit. Like
It's a spirit.
so much data is like uploaded and everything, and then it just stays, and then just stay on that website. It occupies room, So sometimes I think I go, man, we create so many things, and it's like it's almost kind of like psychologically and philosophically noted when I say how much memory does the world have to hold all the things that are created, and then it's memorized all over the place by many different people at different times, or some people not at all, and then it's saved into on top of that onto other things, so then again it's duplicated and it's created more times, and then it's like I feel like in my head it's like something I would state if I was high, Like, I mean, I don't even smoke, but I'm like, I love reggae and everything, I don't smoke, but it's like I'll make some like high time recollections or like moments of just thinking back and just being like, dude, what if it exploded? And then you're like, dude, sweet.
Well, it's true because there's so much content out there. Like, people are creating more and more content. Like, even content that's old, there's some content I've never seen in my life, and it's a trip because that's how much content is out there. There's so many videos out there I'm never going to see in my lifetime, and it's all out, and we're still creating. Like, we can stop right now. We can stop making content right now, and I will never see all the content that's out there in the world.
We're not even fast enough to upload this and record this.
There's no way
to be able to. Yeah, no, that's crazy because there's so many people. Like,
so many people.
We couldn't watch everything in the world, but
crazy.
That's why people become specialists, because they only have enough time to focus enough on one thing, and unless you're really focused on that one path, you're not going to learn it unless you really stay focused on that path, and you keep advancing on that path, and the farther along you go, the more you obtain along that path, and then everything that you watch is like networking. So when you watch one video, it links you up to something that might be not exactly alike, but it is similar, so then you do things that complement those, and then you find, I don't know, I feel like I could go into like,
I like that. That's
like a rabbit hole of a niche to be learned, it's like it's just like if you don't keep, it's just like anything else, you don't keep doing it, you don't use it, you lose it,
you lose it,
quote unquote. Was him Steve Carell or whatever from 40 Year Old Virgin? Is it true, if you don't use it, you lose it?
So true. And that's why you stay hungry. That is the moment. That's the topic of tonight's episode, right? Or today's episode is
hungry.
Maybe make sure you stay hungry. Stay hungry. Stay motivated.
But nibble on some Cheetos,
Get those
you
Cheetos.
Nibble on some Cheetos here and there.
Yeah, nibbles on some Cheetos. That's
but don't commit to the whole tomahawk.
Don't commit to the tomahawk. Get a little piece. But stay motivated. Stay hungry.
Bro, I love making steaks.
Yeah,
I was making some short ribs before you got here. But like I said, I cook them and I leave them nice and rare. So when I ever reheat them, I always reheat them in the oven on a high 500, or I could broil them if they're thin, like the flank steaks, like those short rib. I can heat them up on like a broil because it heats everything up. If I do like a ribeye or something like that, a nice little thick cut, like I really like the Argentinian cuts where like the cuts are like a good inch and a half. I cook them rare, and then I'll throw them in like at a 400, 500. I let them chill in there. It cooks up and everything. But when you throw them in the microwave, it cooks it, it boils it, because it's dehydrating it. So when you dehydrate it, then like your meat's gonna taste like meat that's been out in the sun. It doesn't taste good. Like that stuff is like meat that it's the way that a construction worker heats up his food, which is how I've done it. Is I leave it on the dashboard and I hope it's a hot day.
Does that work?
Yeah, because you don't have a microwave, and like sometimes you're out in places where there's no microwave. I mean, they have these little, I bought this $30 Amazon thing. It's like a portable skillet, and you plug it in.
Oh, nice.
And you have to leave it. You typically want to leave it there for like an hour and a half to fully heat everything up. You have a glass Tupperware, and it heats it from the bottom and heats everything, right?
That's pretty sick.
You can do that. But sometimes I can jump around like 3 job sites in a day.
Yeah.
And so the only way to really do it is I leave it on the dashboard.
That's pretty sick.
And like in a sense, it's not really like, I'm assuming the way sometimes the food can taste, because it can change. It's literally like I tell you, it makes it taste like you left your food out, and it doesn't taste that great sometimes. But that's all you have, So
good.
It's either I'm eating cold steak or I want it warm, or like you can't have rice unless you put a little water in it because it'll dehydrate. Your rice gets hard. Like it's a whole struggle.
Yeah, that's what happens. I mean, that's what
happens. So, but like ovens, the way you do it, or toaster oven.
Yeah,
I would heat it up, but toaster oven, sometimes the oil splashes onto the coils which then like starts burning, gets nasty,
Yeah.
stinks. I cook with high heat. I put the cast iron skillet. I put that up at like 9 out of 10. That thing gets like super red, but I make sure I put the oil first. I made my mistake where I put the oil after it was at 9, like almost top coils on the oven were hot, and the cast iron skillet was like, it looked like my ashy knuckles. You know what I mean? I have to get out of the shower, forget to put lotions on. It was like that weird white gray, looking thing. I put the oil on there, dude. That thing, it was all. I was like a fire. I was a pyro, bro. That thing was just like. I was like, what do I do? I was like, huh? And I was like, I was one of those. And then I was like. That happened after I freaking shut it off. I was like, how do I shut it off? So luckily I didn't put that much oil, and I let it burn out. And I was like, I think the best thing to do is not throw water, because I don't know if it's gonna splash.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna throw the oil and have it splash somewhere else. I don't want to grab it, because I don't even think an oven mitt's gonna do me that well. And then long story short, if you're going to heat up your cast iron skillet at the highest setting, throw your oil on first so it gradually heats up, rather than immediately hit the flash point and then it just like lights on fire. It's crazy. I don't know why. I don't know the math, but it does that. And also something that I learned is that some people are like, I don't wash my cast iron skillet because it'll wash off the flavor, the seasoning, the iron gets seasoned. So the thing is that like soap isn't strong enough to wash off any of the seasoning. There's a polymerization process that happens that when you cook and the seasoning that's in there, it causes like a crystallization that goes onto the cast iron skillet, which your soap isn't strong enough to wash that off, nor the hottest water that you can put on there. So it all happens at that really high heat. And second, too, cast iron skillets don't always burn evenly. I don't even know why it turned into a cast iron skillet tutorial, but cast iron skillets don't burn evenly. I just figured I should spread the knowledge because I don't know too much, but this is what I've learned.
I'm about to buy something that cooks my steak.
I'll buy it on my Amazon link. Click below. Click the link below.
Click the link.
So cast iron skillets don't heat up evenly, but they do heat up more evenly than other pans, and it's also good to get a cast iron skillet, especially when you cook steaks, because then when you throw a cold steak on top, especially if you just recently thawed it, it cools down your pan, which then your pan starts boiling your steak rather than cooking it at a high heat. So you don't get to pan sear right away. You actually boil your meat first, and then it ends up searing it. But when you do it with a cast iron, it immediately sears, which is why it's good that if you throw it on there for like 20-30 seconds, let it sear, and then you flip it over right away, then you start sealing in all the juices.
Nice.
And then you start getting a real nice steak. So, and I typically,
like that.
I don't mind doing cumin. I do real garlic, or if I don't get garlic, I'll do like powdered garlic, whatever. And I'll get like real rosemary, and I'll get real thyme, and I'll do the whole works. But I typically just do like a good cracked pepper. Like I grab my pepper and I throw some kosher salt or sea salt, depending. You got to watch out because each salt has their concentration. So, but I'm usually just like a salt pepper guy because I love the taste of just that like real simple seasoning, because it's like the way you cook it, it'll just taste great. Like I don't need seasonings to make the steak taste good. It's just like I cook it where it's like a nice crisp on the outside. If you want it rare, medium. I hate cooking like medium steaks, like the real like super cooked. I'm like, I can't do that, dude. Like it's an insult to my steak. Like,
That sounds delicious.
I'm gonna go make you something. A medium steak?
Listen,
or a rare steak?
Everything you said is like a metaphor for what we were talking about right here. Listen, if you put the work in, if you do your research, if you just learn, if you do whatever you can at your craft, at whatever it is, DJing, videography, math, whatever it is, like you're gonna get the perfect product, perfect food. But if you stop growing, if you stop there and you're just comfortable, maybe you'll be like that dashboard sandwich, and you'll get heated up by it's still good.
It's more like if you don't watch out how you cook it, you get burned in the kitchen. Like it's too hot. You might get burned. So you might get burned. You gotta take it easy. You gotta be tactful with it.
Yeah, exactly. Be tactful.
You gotta have flavor with the seasoning. Like you gotta be, but you could be simple with it.
Focused.
Just know where you're going.
Know where you're going. Try it. Yeah. Go for it. Try for new creative ideas.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, but definitely try everything. Try everything that you feel that you should try, because regrets suck. Yeah. And I'm 31 right now, and like I feel like I'm still pretty young, but there's things that I'm like I could have taken other paths to, and it's just because I just chose to be immature, or I just simply chose not to do it. And so you guys got to try it out, because it just makes sense. It just makes sense entirely. As people learning, it makes sense. And then as a younger person, I took all this stuff that I was saying from other people, I took it for granted for sure.
And it
sucks, dude. It sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I turned 24 this year.
What?
I just I'm 30, 35.
35 and alive right now. He is 35 and alive. He is at his prime of his production.
You see his face when I said 24?
Next year, he's going to have 36 and alive.
Exactly, 36 and alive. My company's changing, everybody. 36 Productions.
Every year, 36 and alive.
Be ready. But
He's all 72 and alive. Let's get it, Tony McKenna. Tony McKenna. You heard that, Mircko? I don't know my name. Oh, yeah, that's
good.
awesome.
That's awesome. Cheers. That was fantastic.
Oh, no, mine was like that was like water, bro. I just took a sip and I was like, dude, that tastes like tamarindo. Like
that was good.
That did not taste like a rum and coke that it was 10 minutes ago or whatever it was.
Half empty. Amazing. That was fantastic.
Dude. Okay, so we're pretty much concluding. This was awesome. I feel like it's something that like I need to save for the next one.
Yeah. We'll see.
But
come back.
I almost like committing to a Twitch thing is kind of like committing, you know. So it's like you got to do it, but it doesn't mean that we can't try it.
Yeah.
Right. But I was thinking, maybe how we'll do it. We'll talk about it off, off here to really get into everything. But that'd be kind of interesting because I feel like. I feel like I'd want all the radio, like all the people on, and I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, let's get it going, and then like I'd be I like to talk a lot of shit sometimes,
Hey, it's fun.
So,
it's fun and it's in your face. I mean, that's the best.
I always remember a comedian where he was like, yeah, Jado, you're playing that 8-year-old game. They're like jealous, and they're in their little German accent, jealous. And they're like having, dude, no, I couldn't. I can't take it.
We're doing it. Twitch. Follow us on Twitch. Mircko talks.
Mircko talks shit.
Yes.
Twitch.
Yes.
That would be good. Oh, dude, there was another one. I'll say that off because I'm gonna. I'll say it offline because I'll tell you about that one. But that's something that will be. I'm thinking of starting to do like a little segment, and it'll be part of the podcast, and it'll just be like a little segment of the cast, because we're on here for a little bit, and we start hitting all type of like areas and all type of
what we talked about. I forgot, but
that was everything, dude. Everything, stories, my dad headbutting, crunchy Cheetos, scary, insidious
spirits,
cowboy hat fantasies.
Watch out for those
or whatever
spirits.
Whatever you and Tony McKenna you're like maybe it wasn't even an evil thing. It was like he just like. You want to go on a date? And you're like, oh my goodness, no, hell no. She's like, well, why not? How'd you say my name? Tanya McKenna. They're like, what?
Tanya McKenna. That's right.
Dude, I'm telling you, that is it is a song, and I'm gonna figure out the song as soon as I click
Send it to
stop. Me. As soon as I finish, it's gonna be. But I know it's on there. It exists.
I want to hear. I need to hear.
I freaking know that it does. Well, dude, this was sick, dude. This was awesome.
Fun, man. That's fun.
It was great. It was great linking up. It was great going over everything. That people get to meet you, people get to see you. No Barona here, just Saquon, just letting you know, Saquon, like we weren't trying to, insult you guys. We're just attacking the competition,
Yeah, we're all family here, but I do love Saquon. I love Saquon. Saquon is my home, my family.
And so, and then you had your opening day thing. You were doing your aviators thing. So you do a lot. Is it because Saquon's a sponsor for the Padres? Is that why you got that link up, or how did you end up doing that?
So Saquon's they're a big person in the. I mean, they have their suites in the Padres, stadium. So, yeah, they actually that whole event was at Saquon Casino Resort. So
the opening day event was at Saquon. Oh, okay. I thought you went over there.
No. So so the Padres, like, they have a certain amount of people they can allow over there, but they do have their suites that they can allow certain VIPs over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was at Saquon. Their heritage channel was awesome because they have a partnership over there, which is super cool because I get to do those events.
Yeah, I got like free tickets one time to the Padres VIP. Oh gosh, I was like in heaven, dude.
Yeah.
No, it was a bit before.
Oh, okay.
And it was a guy who had like season tickets, and he gave it to all of us, my brother-in-law and everything. Yeah. And
it's pretty
I was like, you mean I can eat this for free?
Is this free?
And this too? And then I was like, you gonna eat that? And I was like,
I need this.
And I was like, it was fun. And then they had like Cracker Jacks like in barrels and chips outside. And you're like, I can just pass by and pick them up. Where did I pay for this? And they're like, no, you just take it. I'm like, what? Like, oh, can I order an IPA? Like, yeah. Like, who'd I pay?
Really?
you just order. And I was like, what?
Like, it's
And like,
free.
it was awesome. I was
Am I
like,
stealing something?
this was my G6, you know?
Yeah,
like, I was
hell
like,
yeah.
huh?
That's the best moment.
I was
You're
like,
just
I don't know.
but
I
the
made
best-
like a little vlog back in the day, and it was like
Yeah.
about it when I was there, and
I
I
gotta
filmed,
see
and they
that.
let me film there. Like they
Oh,
let me
that's
bring the whole
awesome.
camera inside, and I was filming, and I was like, I literally had the whole, I
Yeah.
had the tripod set up like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
with
yeah.
the camera, and
That's
then
awesome.
I had like the shotgun mic and
Oh
everything.
man, that's awesome.
And I was doing a thing, and so that was like when I was,
That's the best though, man.
really getting into it.
Because it's
But
documented, man. That's I tell people, like, just record. I mean, be in the moment wherever you're at. Be in the moment, like be present. But also, like, if you have a chance to like document things, like document, because that's forever, man. You can go back as a grandpa, you know, and just like look at these videos and show your kids or show your grandkids.
it's
The best, man. It's
that's the legacy that you leave. You know, these videos are like the new, it's the new book you wrote. You know.
Exactly. That's perfect. The new book you wrote right here is with videos. So, video, stay hungry.
So your Instagram is
35Alive. So all spelled out. So 35Alive Instagram.
so the number 35.
The
Alive.
number.
Oh no.
Oh, you spell it out though. So
Oh, okay,
35Alive.
Okay, yeah. So then your handle, your Instagram handle
Yes.
is. Oh. What happened here?
think
Well,
he had
technical difficulty.
A little too much.
What happened?
He adds a lot of that.
He's
Right,
like-
dogs right here.
No, I think it was one ahead or something. Wait. Oh my goodness.
I think I did.
Oh, I never.
Mikro, I did see like a cowboy hat spirit in here that
Oh, you
knocked
did?
that out.
That did.
He
What about
knocked-
the other guy over there? That guy in the red.
Yeah, you knocked that. Yeah, he has no hat. No hat this time.
Okay, sorry guys. One more time. Goodness.
All right, Mikro was trying to tie this on real quick. Make sure you hold your horses real quick. And by hold your horses, I mean that cowboy with the horse. And there it goes.
Shamano.
Ciao. Ciao. There it is.
No. Okay, so yeah, we'll just hold that like right here. Hey, look, that looks fine. So the Instagram handle
Totally
is.
natural.
I knew I was gonna replace these things, and I know why.
Totally natural.
So, okay, so 35Alive.
35Alive.
I'll post the link in the description below, and
Yeah.
then you guys are able to click and check out his Instagram.
Insta.
Are you on anything else?
Yeah, Insta, YouTube, same thing. 35Alive. Insta, YouTube, Denny Castillo on Facebook. But pretty much everything's attached to 35Alive.
Okay. Any
Look-
Twitter or anything like that?
No
or
Twitter.
Snapchat?
No Twitter.
No.
No Snapchat. No. Just Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Try
Okay.
to do those vlogs. Yeah.
Right
Enjoy-
on.
Watch those vlogs. Check it out. Check the YouTube and
Oh yeah, and then you had that cool little like live stream that you did back during the pandemic stuff.
yeah, man. that
Which
fun.
was cool, interactive, and
Oh.
like very just interactive, involving of everybody that was chiming in, you know. And
Yeah.
I can only imagine. I met you first time, you know, and like just meeting all the other people. I can only
Yeah.
imagine like the people that there's got to be people that are like you or like have similar energy
sure, yeah.
vibes, you know.
For sure, man. That's
And
the best.
so that would be dope too, to do something. I don't know, not necessarily like with them, but like to
Yeah.
meet like other people of those like type of levels, you know.
That's what it's about, man. It's about like
So-
people like that are at that energy, that creative. Like I love meeting people in general, but the creative minds like is the best. Like you know, meeting you out here, like it's just creative. It's just because every person can motivate you and inspire you in a certain way. So, I mean, and that's what keeps you super hungry to keep on moving forward. Because then you're like, oh, I got an idea. Bam, perfect. Twitch, video
Things,
game.
yeah.
Like,
Like
you never know.
that kind of, I know. Like meshed, clicked. Could be something that leads to something. It could be
Yeah.
something that doesn't. It could be like a little chapter and like that lasted for a couple months or whatever. But then, you know, other things, definitely can be
Yeah,
born of it. And like
for sure.
creatively speaking, it could definitely.
Yeah, it's that
bring
spark.
other things, you
It's
know?
that spark in what you do with it. If you choose to light it up into a fire, then great. If you don't, like it's just a spark, maybe that inspires you for that day, but you don't do anything with it. But I mean, people take that spark and create Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. You're all forest fires. You're like, bad analogy.
Yeah, bad analogy. Amazon is on forest fire. No, I didn't mean to say.
Bezos for. That's horrible. Yeah, that's like massacre. You're like, what? No, that's a horrible word.
Horrible word to say.
Right on. So the handle's on there.
Yeah.
It's in the link. Again, guys, I post the Mircko Talks on the YouTube channel if you want to check it out. My YouTube channel is Mircko Media, which is my brand. But my podcast, I specifically name Mircko Talks, which is what I lead my titles with on my videos, so you guys can see and distinguish between my podcast and any other content that I may post.
Nice.
And I have all that on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. But I'm really active more on Instagram, and I attempt to be active on Twitter as well.
Nice.
But yes, so hope you guys check all that out.
Yeah,
the
check it out.
podcast is on Google, on Apple, and Spotify, and Anchor if you happen to be on there as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode with Mr. DJ Danny Castillo, 35Alive Productions. I keep saying his last name, but it's usually just DJ Danny. But now you got his info. Don't worry, I'm not giving you his social security. But that's pretty much as far as we're going. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I liked it. I had a great time.
fun.
I believe he did. Hope he did. Right?
I hate you.
It was good. Cowboy guy. Step in now.
Get
Get this guy. All right, guys. You have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you on the next one.
There you go.
Laters.
Peace.